time. Looks for Deutsch. Deutsch at the one into the end zone. Middle play action now. Look to pass over the middle. It's intercepted by Cole Hebel. Intercepted by Hebel. Rears back, comes downfield, has Rodriguez. Rodriguez at the 40, to the 50, to the 40. Rodriguez is going to keep going.
Right, Fetting's got room, and here's Bo Fetting. Fetting's still on his feet. Fetting's gone.
Looking to pass, playing off, coming left side, picked up by Cotton. Alex Cotton with the pick, he'll take it back and into the end zone.
Turn and hand the ball off. Will Starkey, he thunders his way. 30, 20, one man to beat. He's got the middle's got a man, that's Friddle. Look out, Friddle, 40, 30, he's loose, 20, 10, touchdowns.
Halsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
High school football is on the air here on yourliveevent.com tonight from Hope, North Dakota. Following 0-1 starts for both teams on the season with Maple River, the Raiders, and the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds. Mind you, it was against ranked competition. Maple River falling to top-rated Lemoore Litchfield Marion, and on the opposite side, Wyndmere Lidgewood falling to a top-5 team in Mayport CG. The good news since that time in August, both teams have found themselves winners of 3 straight games, as tonight from Hope, North Dakota, the Maple River Raiders host Wyndmere Lidgewood for 9B football non-region contest here this evening. And again, a good Friday. Kind of feels like fall, a little brisk out there. 61 degrees, overcast skies here tonight, but not too windy out there. So the elements, knock on wood, should not come into play compared to a month ago when we had the lightning delay up here. I'm Chase Miller. Nathan Hoots is our color commentator and sideline reporter, and Joey Hughes is handling the camera tonight. And this is the Irie Insurance pregame show. Nathan, let's get right to our keys to the game. We'll get to our coach's corner here with Scott Stringy and alongside Larry Fontaine in a little bit, but I would be probably remiss to say the running backs of Andrew Arth of Wyndmere Lidgewood, of Clay Hovelson of Maple River, both seniors as well. That has to be topic A and B here right off the bat on our Irie Insurance pregame show, Nathan.
Absolutely. I don't think you could ask for a better running back matchup in the state of North Dakota thus far. I mean, stats-wise, Clay Hovelson, 700 yards and 11 touchdowns in 4 games. Are you kidding me? And then Andrew Arth battling a knee injury, but he still, every time he gets going, he is like a bowling ball rolling downhill. He is impossible to stop. Yards after contact is going to be extremely important for him tonight, as well as the Raiders' defense.
The one thing in this particular game, when you know that both teams like to run the football, obviously, as speaking from someone being more of a fan than anything else, Nathan, you being a former coach, I would say fill the box, stuff the box, force the quarterback to make the throw. Here's the kicker. Trey Brandt, quarterback for Wyndmere Lidgewood, he's only thrown the ball 22 times this season, but when he has 13 completions, 157 yards, so he's getting a first down per completion. On the opposite side, T. Silling, the sophomore, we've seen his dual threat ability throughout the years, throughout this 4 weeks, and I also think, Nathan, his ability has continued to maybe grow since playing one of the best teams in the state in the season opener in Lemoore Litchfield Marion.
Absolutely. T's gotten into a bit of a groove here in the last couple of weeks. It's comfortable when you can turn around and you know you can hand the ball off and get chunk yardage from a running back. And I think they found their groove with play calling where it's run, chunk play, because you're getting 8-9 man boxes now against the Raiders on defense. And T's able to make plays on the run using his athletic ability and his ability to throw the ball on the run.
The one thing that Larry Fontana, we'll talk with him in a little bit here as well, he said wherever Andrew Arth is going to be, Clay Hovelson on defense, as much as we're talking offensively, he have 20 tackles last week for the Raiders. That one's going to be a fun matchup. I would like to see an Oklahoma drill between Arth and Hovelson to see who comes out on top of that 5 times out of a 7 there, Nathan.
That would be extremely fun. Just to be able to put the 2 of the best guys in the state matched up against each other and just see who's the best that night.
So final thing here on our opening segment before we take a look at some games to note across 9B football across the state of North Dakota. What is the second storyline? What is a storyline that maybe we need to be aware of here tonight? Again, Clay Hovelson, Andrew Arth, we're going to say their name enough to where the lights are going to go out here in Hope later this evening. But what might be another player or what might be another storyline early in this contest, Nathan, that you're going to be watching, because this could potentially be a month from now a playoff preview of a matchup that we could see a month from now, but also for these 2 teams, this is very much a barometer game to see where they are across the state of North Dakota against really good competition, looking at each other in the mirror a little bit.
Absolutely. It might not come out. My storyline is 4th quarter meaningful snaps, and we might not see that early on, obviously, But these teams, I mean, Maple River lost by 50, then they won by 16, won by 52, won by 22. All right, Wyndmere Lidgewood lost by 22, then they won by 57, 56, 29. How many meaningful fourth quarter snaps have we seen this entire year from these two squads? Not a whole lot. Each of them got a couple meaningful snaps in that first game, simply because first game of the year. But after that, we haven't seen a whole lot. What's the depth going to look like tonight? I'm really excited to see meaningful, important snaps late in the evening tonight.
It's going to be fun to see. Let's take a look at some other games of note here across 9B football this evening. Number 3 Cavalier at Larimore. The Tornadoes 3-0 on the season, while Larimore is 3-1. West Hope, Newburgh, Glenburn 3-1 at Divide County. The Maroons are 4-0. Then Central McLean at 3-1 at Grant County Flasher. The Storm at 2-2 and Central McLean at 3-1. When we come back after this, we'll dive into our coach's corner. I see Scott Stringy standing by here in a little bit to speak with Nathan Hoots. We'll also hear from Larry Fontaine. That's all still to come ahead of opening kickoff. It's the Irie Insurance here on your live event.
Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro area and surrounding communities.
There is another way to minimize your farm's risk and protect its equity with margin protection coverage. This is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with Irie Insurance. Margin protection provides coverage against an unexpected decrease or increase in operating margin. In other words, we can put a policy in place to protect you from changing input costs and crop prices on your farm. Let us help you explore this option between now and September 30th to get you covered. For more information, go to irieins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
Let's get to our coach's corner, standing by with our sideline commentator, Nathan Hoots. That's the head coach of the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds in Scott Stringy. Nathan, take it away.
Hey, Coach, 3-game winning streak for you guys. Defensively, you've given up 16 total points in that stretch. What can you attribute to this impressive run thus far?
A lot of it comes down to Mayport showing us where our weaknesses were. A lot of it comes down to Coach Kern coming up with some good plans against some teams. Richland's a good team. They move the ball well. Run defense, we played pretty good. We gave up a big play early in the half last week, but we stopped them on the 3-4 and didn't look back there. I like how we're 2 whistles. We're getting to it, with guys flying around, and pursuit's been a lot better.
All right, excellent. Clay Hovelson's been on a bit of a tear lately. What kind of focus do you put on in the week of preparation for a kid that carried the ball 43 times last week?
He's obviously one of their dudes, if not their dude, but it's going to be a different defense than he saw last week. We're not the team he saw, so they're going to see different wrinkles. But yeah, we really appreciate watching him on film. He's a special player, and he's got our focus. But Maple River's got a lot of good players.
Hey, give me one other guy outside of Clay Hovelson that you've been focused on, guy that jumped out on film to you.
I'd say 72. I'd say the quarterbacks really surprised me. Their ends have played really well. They just, to get that kind of yardage, you got to have the blocking, and their blocking just gets better. And I can tell that their coach is focused on the fundamentals, day one stuff, and that's how you get there.
Absolutely. All right, Scott, something that jumped out to me when looking over your stats, you only have 11 penalties in 4 games. Whenever that happened when I was a coach, I could usually attribute it to my upperclassmen, the experience they had, leadership that led to this. What can you say about the upperclassmen in your crew?
Well, first of all, I don't like it when you jinx me like that. I don't know. I mean, it's the kids. We do take it serious about when we see something on film, go in there, trying to correct those things and show them, what the significance it has. Last week against Richland, we did have a couple bad penalties, and they did cost us. We've had a couple touchdowns called back. So it's the yardage that we've had on some of our penalties hasn't been good.
Okay. All right. After this game over, number one stat that's going to determine this game, is it time of possession, turnover differential, red zone scoring, maybe something I didn't mention?
Probably my blood pressure.
Perfect. All right, one more thing. You're widely known around these parts for your ability to drop a gadget play at the right time. What leads to the time of the game, a feeling in your gut? What leads you to call those type of plays when you do?
A lot of times they come with a momentum. You feel like a team needs a momentum shift, or You just watch something on film that stood out at a certain down distance, certain spot on the field, and you practice those things, and you don't know when you're going to use them. A lot of these we've been practicing since week one, and just waiting to use them if we need them.
Sure, absolutely. All right, I'll get you out of here on this. If you could describe your team in one word, what is that?
Relentless.
All right, thanks, Coach. Have a good one. All right, Chase, back to you.
Thank you very much, Nathan Hoots. Nathan Hoots, the head coach there with Scott Stringy as well. This is our Irie Insurance pregame show. We're going to go from one head coach to another. We're going to sit down with Larry Fontaine coming up next here on our Irie Insurance pregame show.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
Do you want that new boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsborough location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Part of our Coach's Corner conversation, joining us now is Maple River head football coach. That is Larry Fontaine, as the Warbirds of Wyndmere Lidgewood come into Hope, North Dakota tonight. And Larry, for you, 3 wins, 1 loss on the season. You're at the midway point here of the 2022 campaign. Overall, just kind of what have you learned and your thoughts so far from the boys in 4 Friday Night Light action so far, Larry?
It's been a lot of fun this year. I really appreciate the new kids from Maple Valley. I appreciate the new co-op. Our kids have gotten along well with them from Hope Page, and I'm lucky. We got a great group of kids. I inherited a really good group of kids from Maple Valley, very talented kids, and they get along well with the boys that we have here from Hope Page playing. And all I can say, there's a fly, it's annoying me, but the kids are doing really well, and I'm really happy for them. 3-1's, where we thought we'd be at the beginning of the year. So everything's going well.
The one thing, it just seems like when I take a look at box scores or stats or talk to some people who are at the games as well, Larry, it just seems Clay Holvelson's name's getting brought up a lot right now. What does that senior do on both sides of the ball? But I know he gets the stats obviously on the rushing game, where everybody goes on social media and sees he's had X amount of touchdowns, 150, 200 yards rushing. What has he done for you specifically on the offensive side here, Larry?
Well, correct you, 280. 282, 284. Kid's just tough. Kid's just really, really tough. But what I really like about him yesterday, we talked about how we think they need to be in a little better shape, especially with Wyndmere coming on, and towards the end of the game, we have kids at 9-man football that don't come out of the game. And so we thought that as a coaching staff, they need to be in a little better shape. And he was leading the pack. We ran him pretty hard yesterday. Mondays practices, we watch film, and then we go out and we stretch. We get the calcium deposits out of our body, and they do a lot of running and do some offense. And he's leading the pack. He's working as hard as he can. He's busting. And when kids see him doing that, they follow. On defense, he had 20 tackles last week. The kid's just a stud. And, he's a leader. And kids look up to him, and I'm really lucky to be able to coach him.
You go on the opposite.
I think he's one of the best football players in the state. Definitely 9-man, one of the best running backs in the state. And, he should get some consideration for all states, I believe.
Larry, and I go on the opposite side here. Running backs obviously stand out on both sides of the ball. As senior Andrew Arthon for Wyndmere Lidgewood as well. I know he had to battle an injury at the tail end of last season. He's back, and coming into the season, I think if you ask Coach Scott Stringer or maybe anybody else around the state, when it starts with the Warbirds, if Andrew was healthy to go to start the season and how everything was going to matriculate through the year, he probably would be a number one in terms of someone that you have to find a way to key on or hone in on here against the Warbirds tonight.
Yeah, he suffered a devastating knee injury last year. Then it flared up again this year. He's been limited this year, but he played last week, and Clay will be on him. When he gets the ball, Clay's going to be on him. Someone's going to be on him 24/7. We're not letting one kid beat us. So Clay will be on him. Where he's at, Clay will be at. Best player versus best player. And watching their tape, he plays the middle. And obviously he's going to play the middle because he likes to bring the smack down. So we're going to put somebody on him. We're going to hit him. When he's on defense, someone's hitting him every time. I don't care. Okay, wherever he's at, you got him. Okay, whether it be Liam, whether it be Levi, whether it be whoever, someone's going to get him.
The one thing for you, Larry, and I know this is an interesting conversation. Every level's a little bit different. How coaches maybe go about their business is a little bit different. If you have some guys who are nicked up and everything else, it's week 5. It's a non-region game. Then you go through 3 straight region games to find out what the postseason hopefully brings for the Raiders, when we come up here a month from now. Do you coach it any differently if someone's nicked up? Do you hold them out and say, hey, we're just going to have you play defense, not offense, or limit your possessions or reps? Or can you do that in 9B football to maybe 11B or 11A and so forth in North Dakota, Larry?
Well, we play to win. Our kids want to win. We really want to beat Wyndmere. Wyndmere beat Maple Valley last year. They beat us last year in the playoffs. We actually thought we should have beat them in the playoffs. We don't like to lose. I don't like to lose. I don't coach to lose. We're gonna play them the best we can. We're looking at it as a game where we can see where we really are and where we need to get better. If we can play with a really good football team, then we know we're good. And after watching the tape yesterday, we believe we can play with them. We really honestly believe we can play with them. Wyndmere has a tradition of intimidation. They like to intimidate people. They come here, they're big bad. Wyndmere, we're going to kill you. They're big bad. Arth is the baddest dude. They're going to, I'm tired of that. We're tired of that. We're going to knock them. We're going to smack them. I told our kids, we're going to hit them. We're going to go out and just bloody them up. People might not like that, but that's football. We're going to go there and we're going to smack them, and we're going to see where we stand. And if we have to make adjustments in the game, we will.
Final thing for you, Larry, you mentioned about, it's a barometer game, and I'm going to recap the 4 weeks for you from week 1 going up against the defending state champ. I know we mentioned it about a month ago, and you said, hey, we're fortunate to go up against a team like that, right? Let's embrace that number 1 team coming into Hope, North Dakota, following that 3 straight wins. So what have you learned a little bit each week from your teams following that Lemoore game, but then all of a sudden the next week, and then you got Richland and you got Tri-State and company? What have you learned from week number 1 about your team and the growth that they've seen to get to 3 wins on the season and put yourselves a chance to have a playoff push here, in the latter part of September, early part of October?
Well, when we started the year, I didn't know how good our offensive line was. We've lost 2 kids to that offensive line. Both have quit. And we've had kids step up. And Clay will be the first to tell you that our offensive line is good, and he wouldn't have the yardage he has without our offensive line. We also run Connor and Dylan, and we run Marty. So it's Clay's show, but there's a lot of kids else besides that. When we played Lemoore, we did a lot of spread, and then, our quarterback was really young and he wasn't ready to play, I don't think, at that game, at that level yet. And we realized that we started running the ball in that game, and we realized that we ran the ball pretty well against Lemoore. And then we came together as a staff, but we can run the ball against Lemoore. We can run the ball against anybody. And I guarantee you Wyndmere is going to put 9 people in the box, and we're a running team, and we'll see where we stand. We're going to throw a little better. Our passing game's gotten a lot better since the first week of the year. Our quarterbacks, the game has slowed down for them a little bit. And we're coming with a little different offense because we can't. They're going to put 9 guys in the box, and we got to spread them out a little bit and do something different. But we're looking forward to the game. I've learned a lot from our kids. We have a talented group of young men, and I'm really proud of them.
Larry, as always, thanks so much for your time. 3 straight home games has to be nice after 3 straight road games after opening up the season against Lemoore. So we'll get to see a lot of Hope, North Dakota coming up here on your live event throughout the next 3 weeks. So thanks so much, and best of luck here against the Warbirds.
Roger, appreciate it, Chase. Have a great day.
Good luck, guys.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
You couldn't pick a better community to be a part of. I've actually been to another college, and this one was a far better experience because of the support of the faculty and the staff here. It's just outstanding. My name is Andrew, and I'm here for my future.
It feels like you're at a bigger university. Right now I won't have any debt, and I might even gain a little extra money through scholarships. There's so many job opportunities. My name is Emily, and I'm here for my future.
Serving Mahnomen and the surrounding communities for 34 years, it's Pregame and Super Value, your hometown grocery store in Mahnomen. Stop by today. Great weekly specials, delicious fresh produce, along with baked goods that are baked fresh daily, and a fully stocked meat department. Great deals. You'll find them at your hometown grocery store, Pregame and Super Value. Celebrating 34 years, it's your hometown grocery store, Pregame and Super Value in Mahnomen.
As we continue on our Irie Insurance pregame show here tonight from Hope, North Dakota, just got done with the Coach's Corner. Chase Miller, Nathan Hoots with you, and then Joey Hughes running the camera. Games this evening across 9B and Region 1 and Region 2. A vast majority of some of these games also across the state of North Dakota tonight are non-region, but in Region 2, some interesting games. Maple River is the only non-region game here this evening in Hope. Then you have Hatton Northwood at Mayport CG and Griggs Makota going up against Enderlin. So after this evening, Nathan, from a Maple River perspective, they're going to know, is Mayport CG, for example, a full game ahead of them? Does Enderlin get to 1-0 in region play? If that's the case, then both the Raiders and the Eagles will be 1-0 next week here on your live event in Hope, North Dakota. So some interesting scoreboard watching once tonight's game gets done a little bit here in that particular contest.
Yeah, exactly. Every coach looks at it, and it takes a couple weeks for it to kind of flush itself out and figure out what scores mean what, and it'll be interesting to see how that Hatton Northwood and Mayville game, because we know what the score was for Maple River and Hatton Northwood last week. How does that compare tonight? And you don't want to compare. It's not apples to apples every single time. Someone might be out, something like that, maybe some bad weather, but you do start to look at how those numbers match up as the season goes on.
On the opposite side for Region 1, and if you're a Wyndmere Lidgewood fan, you're going to be doing the exact same thing. Richland at Lemoore Litchfield Marion, and after seeing the Lobos play here a month ago, the Lobos look like the team that won at the Dakota Dome last year with a lot of talent. Colton Ness, I'm not going to bring up more horror stories about that name for you on the sidelines and as a former coach as well. Then Tri-State at Hankinson, just seeing what's there, you would expect the Lobos, possibly the Pirates, and Hankinson's a team that's 3-1 as Wyndmere Lidgewood. 3 teams from each region get in. In Region 1, not to say that Richland can't get the job done, but they already have 1 loss instead of 0 wins in their column in region play. Region 1 looks like we kind of know who the 3 teams are, where in Region 2, Nathan, I think there's still a battle for that 3rd spot, at least early on here. Again, this is very early in region play standings.
Yeah, games that you look forward to in Region 1, Wyndmere Lidgewood and Hankinson. It's a big rivalry game to begin with, but that could end up being, who's going to be that 2 seed. The difference between the 2 and the 3 seed this year, and as in years past, is that home game in the first round, which is huge. And then, looking forward into Region 2, it's not going to get a whole lot bigger when it comes to a region game with Maple River and Enderlin playing next week, which once again could be that 2 versus 3. But how does Hatton Northwood and Enderlin match up? So it'll be we got some really interesting games. I really love how the schedule plays out, that we have all of these really big matchups here in the last half of the season, so it's exciting.
Let's take a look at the Warbirds here after tonight. They're home to Hankinson, always a rival game at Tri-State, at Lemoore Lidgewood, and if they take care of business in their next couple of contests, that Lobos-Warbirds game could determine who wins Region 1 and would be a top 8 seed. In comparison, it's the same way, Hoots, with Maple River. You just went down the schedule. Next week, homecoming here in Hope against the Enderlin Eagles. Then you have a senior night against Griggs Makota, and if Maple River takes care of business, the same as Mayport CG, that would be the same thing. Whoever wins earns a bye into the second round and would be a top 8 seed. So that last week of the season, maybe the schedule makers had it right. A lot of non-region games early, but at the end of the year here in 2-3 weeks, we could be salivating over some matchups here in the eastern part of the state of North Dakota in 9B football.
Absolutely, and just like I said, there's a huge difference between the 2 and the 3 seed. There's even a bigger difference between the 1 and the 2. Getting that bye when you need it the most, in 9-man football, teams do not have depth. So being able to have a week off to rest everybody up, and then knowing you get to watch a team play and then play them after a week on your home field, possibly for a game or 2 or more, is a really big deal in 9-man football.
The one thing that stands out for some other games across the state of North Dakota, we mentioned it a little bit earlier here in our iRing Insurance pregame show. Go online to iringins.com for your insurance requests. A number 3 seed Cavalier going up against the Polar Bears. I can't remember the last time in recent years that Larimore had 3 wins in their first 4 games. In terms of just the region play that they've had, it's been maybe some lean years for the Polar Bears, but just a chance and a barometer game for them to see where they are against a quality team. West Hope, Newburgh, Glenburn 3-1 at Divide County. The Maroons, a very storied program in 9-man football in North Dakota. Who's going to win that game between the Sioux and the Maroons? And then Central McLean and Grant County Flasher. The Storm had just always been talked about in 9-man for playoffs the last couple of years. They're 2-2 against Central McLean at 3-1. So across the state here tonight too, Nathan, as much as we're talking about the eastern part of North Dakota, out west in the central part, there's going to be some fun games to scoreboard watch here on this Friday night.
I'd love to shout out Larimore, regardless of what the schedules look like for their first 4 games. Winning 3 of them, they've had some lean years. You might be talking all the way back when they were 11-man, the last time that they had a successful type of season. So extremely happy to see that play out, and it's a big-time game for them tonight against Cavalier.
Coming into this evening, the latest North Dakota 9B football poll, all 16 votes. Defending champ, a team that continues to win, that's Lemoore Litchfield Marion. They're the number 1 team. The Holsteins of New Salem, Almont number 2, Cavalier 3, Mayport CG, the Patriots number 4, and North Prairie number 5, with South Border and Divide County receiving votes respectively. Nathan, anything that you would change out of that top 5 from what you've seen the first month of high school football?
Nope. Perfect. Lemoore's won. Move on.
It's simple enough that with how the Lobos have been able to play here this season. Other games across your live event here tonight. Sargent County at Central Cass in 11B. Football also in 11B. Rugby at Thompson. Lisbon going up against Fargo Oak Grove. The Groders are nomads this season, playing 3 games at Fargo. Davies, 1 at West Fargo and 1 at Moorhead High School. You have Langdon Area at Hillsborough Central Valley, and also Kindred at Northern Cass here tonight across our Your Live event platform in North Dakota. Nathan Hoots on the sidelines. Chase Miller here with you with Joey Hughes. We'll take a quick break. We come back after this. Starting lineups and the opening kick from Hope, North Dakota. That does it for our Irie Insurance pregame show. For all of your insurance requests, visit Irie Insurance online at IrieINS.com. It's the 3-1 Warbirds and the 3-1 Raiders. Kickoff is coming up next here on Your Live event.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hope-page.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou does it all. They provide full shop services for your tractors, combines, trucks, pickups, and cars. Their tire department carries a full line of name brand tires, and they've got state-of-the-art alignment equipment. And don't forget about the parts department. They have parts for just about anything, right down to your lawnmower. Call today, 218-935-2774. Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou.
Let's get to the starting lineups here as you see it on our City of Hope scoreboard. I'd like to thank the City of Hope. Work and play in Hope, North Dakota. From job listings and housing options, search HopeND.com. That's HopeND.com. Wyndmere Lidgewood, the visitors on the scoreboard, clad in their white uniforms with gold numerals and lettering outlined in black, won the opening coin toss and elected to defer. So we will see the Warbirds defense out here to start things off. You have defensive ends of Quam and Quam. That's Carl and Brian. Linemen of Jason Barton and Matthias Kackman. Linebackers of Severson, Orth, and Kuchera. And then defensive backs of Levi Kackman and Jack Manstrom here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. The Warbirds averaging 43 points per game defensively, giving up 13. Head coach Scott Stringy out of 9B Region 1, 3 wins, 1 loss on the season here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. Wins against Griggs Makota, Enderlin, and Richland, their lone loss against Mayport CG. Now to the home team on the scoreboard, the Maple River Raiders, clad in their blue uniforms and bottoms outlined with red with the white numerals and lettering here tonight in Hope. For the Raiders, they're going to go like this. Starting quarterback is T. Silling, the sophomore at 6'2". Clay Hovels in the 5'11" senior, the tailback tonight for the Raiders. Fullback of Connor Dahl, a 5'8" junior. You also have wide receivers of Stephen Drogan, and you're going to see the winger of Dylan Reamer and the wideout of Wyatt Silling here tonight, the senior at 5'10". Guards of Levi Trader and Liam Santrum, and the center of Calvin Santrum. Offensively, the Raiders averaging 31 points per game. Defensively, giving up 21. 3 wins, 1 loss on the season as well for head coach Larry Fontaine. As we take a look at this one here, Nathan Hoots, for the fans join us again. We mentioned Hovelson and Arth in our pregame show, but final words tonight, what's it going to take from a Raider and Warbird point of view to get that winning streak up to 4 here this evening in Hope?
I really think it's a combination of time of possession and taking advantage on third down. Whether you can get that into 3rd and 4 or shorter, it's going to be really important to teams that love to ground and pound.
This is one of those where, again, as much as we don't talk about the passing game of either team probably throughout the night, it might be that one big pass that goes down the field. It could be that interception in a crucial point of the game, maybe 4 down territory as well. Is this a game of field position, or is this a game you get past the 50-yard line? It's 4th and 2. We're going for it. The amount of possessions early in a game, Nathan, how does that change a game plan going in if maybe one team runs 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, the other runs 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, whether you score or not?
I think, I'm guessing both coaching staffs have talked, hey, if we get to a certain yardage or less at a certain yard line, maybe you get past your own 40, hey, it's auto, go for it. We know we're in 4 down territory. That certainly helps. But it's philosophy, and if one team found something this week that they feel like they can exploit, they're going to go after it.
The Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds putting the ball on the tee on the 40-yard line. That is Brian Quam. We have 4 12-minute quarters. Both teams with 3 timeouts here in high school football. If the football does get into the end zone, it would be a touchback here this evening. Opening kickoff just after the 7 o'clock hour here in Hope as we get this one ready to roll. Returners for the Raiders will be Reamer and Hovelson. They stand back at the 15-yard line. This one is on the tee, and we get things ready to go. Little squib kick to the 35-yard line and getting to the 45 for a 10-yard return here for Maple River, as they'll have great starting field position after Connor Dahl got met at the 45-yard line.
Short and opposite of the field of Hovelson to begin. I think that was very intentional. It was a directional kick to make sure he didn't touch it on the first play.
So great starting field position if you're the Raiders here, and how can you take advantage of it after they lost 50-0 against the Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos? Wins of Richland, Tri-State, Hatton Northwood, also all wins that were on the road here for Maple River. As we get ready here in the shotgun formation, Silling handoff. This is to Hovelson. Hovelson met up in the backfield, and he is going to be tackled for a loss. Matthias Kackman coming in on that particular play, as that is going to be a loss of a couple of yards.
See, very intentional. It's man-to-man across the board, and they sold out. They didn't have anybody on their minds except for 22 right there.
And I think I would probably put 22 in my foresights here this evening as well, with how many yards he's rushed for. Did we say a 280 and 300 in 2 of the last 3 games in a single game here this evening for Maple River in a contest, Hoots?
Yes, yeah, he's had some outstanding games 2 of the last 3 weeks.
Shotgun formation again, 1 wide receiver either side. The Warbirds going to bring 5. Silling keeps this one right up the middle. I tell you what, that little pressure up the middle with the linebacker really disrupted things a little bit, and Silling almost got caught in the backfield with a little quicksand. Makes it 3rd and long here for the Raiders.
Quick interior pressure from the 2 defensive tackles from the Warbirds blew everything up right there.
You could say Barton and Kackman. Barton, a senior at 6 foot 230. Kackman at 6 foot 4, 200 pounds. A senior. The leading tackler so far this season is Jake Kuchera. Something that Scott Stringy said he's not getting enough attention in his eyes in terms of who people are talking about. The Warbirds is Kuchera at the linebacker. He wears number 20. Silling, pass, has some time, throws it down the field. One-on-one coverage over intended. The intended receiver of his older brother Wyatt Silling at the 25-yard line. So you're going to put 8-9 guys in the box. You want to stop the run. Warbirds able to do that, force a 3rd and long. And now for Coach Fontaine, more than likely a punting situation here in the opening quarter.
Coach Stringy and the defense from the Warbirds must feel very strongly that they're going to be able to guard him man-to-man across the board. They got interior pressure immediately, and Silling wasn't able to catch it.
I think both teams are going to go with that man-to-man philosophy here tonight, Nathan, between Larry Fontaine and Scott Stringy here this evening, as we'll continue to see with Maple River coming out to punt with Santrum back at his own 32-yard line. High snap, Santrum, the right-footed boot, a high end-over-ender past the 30, and then who does it hit? It looked like it hit Hovelson as the Warbirds had a man near the facility to him, Matthias Kackman. That one was bringing your pitching wedge out a little bit, got to the 35-yard line, so a punt of just over 20 yards. Good starting field position here for the Warbirds at their own 35.
Both coaching staffs panic when it's the first punt of the day and it goes 100 yards up in the air, and you know which way it's going to bounce.
That's one where you, what was the word that you would call Peter, fire? What would you be using for your teams there, Nathan?
We were red,
okay.
Or Peter. Depends if we had a Peter on our team, which I did for many, many years. So we went red then, but yes, it was typically Peter.
Again, on our City of Hope scoreboard here, the Warbirds will come out 1st down and 10. Ball will be spotted at the 34-yard line. Andrew Ort, the senior so far this season, with 280 yards rushing, as they got to make sure they get the chain gang ready to go on the far sideline. Brian Yanish, part of our crew here tonight from Valley City, as we're going to be ready to go. Yanish is in the white hat. 1 wide receiver split out. Raiders, same thing, man. Defense here across the board. 7 in the box. QB keeper with Trey Brett right up the middle. He's got to crease the 40. He could go 50. He's into Raider territory. 30. He's to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5. End zone touchdown for the Warbirds. One goes to the house and hits Pater. A 66-yard score on the first play from scrimmage for the junior Tyler Brandt.
Both defensive tackles from Maple River got pushed in the direction exactly the way the Warbirds wanted to, and there was just a giant crease.
And now it's going to be a 2-point conversion upcoming here for Wyndmere Lidgewood, as they're going to come out with the opportunity for the 2-point conversion here. And if you're the Warbirds, you couldn't have drawn it up any better 2 minutes into this contest with that running opportunity, as they come out here in the shotgun formation with Arth lining up to the right-hand side. This one, handoff, little read option. Arth right up the middle for the 2-point conversion. New score on our City of Hope scoreboard. It's 8-0 Warbirds here on your live event.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
The Maple Valley Parents Organization is an organization whose main purpose is to support all Maple Valley student activities and to promote a healthy environment and attitudes for the youth. Their aim is to encourage growth and interest in these areas by supporting them in a sportsmanlike manner. The Maple Valley Parents Organization is open to anyone. If you'd like to become a member or see upcoming events, like their Facebook page by searching Maple Valley Parents Organization on Facebook.
One play, 66 yards and 14 seconds comes off the clock for Wyndmere Lidgewood as the Warbirds strike first here tonight with a Trey Brandt rushing touchdown, 2-point conversion by Arthas Good, and the Warbirds will put this one on the tee at the 40-yard line. This one, a good deep kick all the way back to the 5-yard line that goes to the hands of a Raider back into the end zone for the touchback there as Dylan Reber had that one in the breadbasket. And now Maple River will have to start off with it with their second possession here. So 3 plays, Nathan. I know sometimes it's not a lot to maybe say, here's the game plan, but what did you see from the Warbirds defensively in the first 3 plays against the Raiders?
Stack the box, sell out against the run, and hope that your guys don't bite that are responsible for anybody that can catch a pass.
So 3 and out, and then 1 play to pay dirt for Wyndmere Lidgewood as the Raiders will come out here with the football. And this time they're going to spread them out. Twins both left and right. Shotgun formation for T. Silling with Hovelson in the backfield, trying to open up some space for someone. T finds it. Nice little out route. Good tackle on the far side as they were able to get the wrap up. Reamer is able to make the catch, but that one goes to the outside for just 3 yards.
When you face a team that goes 4 wide and you're going to play man-to-man across the board, any little pass like that little 2-yard out, if you don't tackle well in space, it's 80 yards the other way. So extremely impressive start here for the Warbirds defense.
Warbirds on the outside. I think we're hearing why Coach Stringy thought that Jake Kuchera was such a really good wrap-up player, and we saw it right there, make it 31 and a half tackles on the season. Now to the Wishbone offense. This one, little inside trap play to Hovelson. Hovelson makes a man miss and gets awfully close to the first down. He needs the 30, might be at the 29 and a half yard line. And then we have a late flag. That's our first flag of the night. This one well after the play, and we'll see on who it's going to be, but it will be a dead ball, it looks like, here from our eyes, Nathan.
Yeah, I got one. 2 guys, one from each team, locked up, and they were not willing to be the guy that was going to fall to the ground first. See who they got.
So battle of Rams, if you will, and where they spotted the ball was right at the 30-yard line, which is right where Hovelson needed to get. Currently, it's a 7-yard rush, barring this penalty if it's on Wyndmere Lidgewood or if it's on Maple River. We'll have a personal foul. This will be against the Warbirds. So tack on some more yards, and all of a sudden now, 2 plays, you get 25 yards, and you're right back where you were on the first possession at the 45.
That's exactly what you need. A little bit of breathing room. A 20 is not terrible, but it's uncomfortable in 9-man football. Usually you're not packed up inside your 20 to begin a possession, but a little breathing room now.
And Scott Stringy's not going to asking about flags in the pregame show anymore with the first one there going up against the Warbirds.
Yep, that's my fault.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Announcers Jinx.
Yep.
We're all part of it at some point. Here it comes now at the 45-yard line. The chance here for the Raiders. This one will come across, able to break a tackle as Reamer to the 50, and Reamer gets to the 50-yard line as this one will come to the 50 for 5 yards on the rush for Reamer.
Nice little adjustment by the Raiders here. They went power in the first possession, and this one they're going a little cross action and getting a counter moving. Guys going one way and following 22. Nope, 2's going to get the ball going the opposite direction.
So you got the wrap up by Kuchera and one other Warbird there, but again, 5 yards. So 5 so far for Reamer, a Silling 1 for 0, and then Hovelson 2 for 5 yards here. I formation now. Hovelson dots the I. Warbirds make a quick adjustment. 7-man right up front. Pitch play goes out to Hovelson. He needs a block. Gets one in the numbers. Puts the helmet down. Dives forward. He needs the 45, and they will spot him past the 45 to the 44. The pitch play gets to the outside, gets to the boundary, Nathan, and Hovelson was able to do the rest for a healthy 6 yards.
First of all, great job by the outside blocking with the on the Raiders there. They sealed and the kick out block that they had that freed up Hovelson, and then he is just downhill and he knocked the guy backward 2 yards, got the first down.
Sometimes the guys like Hunter Dulles, the fullbacks of the world in I formation, don't get enough credit, but if you can get that lead block to the outside, that can do marvel
If you do not have a good fullback, you cannot run sweep.
Simple enough as it's put. Warbirds showing pressure. They rush 3. Silling pocket collapse. It throws it out. And a wheel route. This man at the 30 to the 25 and taken down close to the 20. They'll mark him at the 21 for a gain of 23 to Steven Drugan. Oh, what a play on the back foot there by T. Silling.
He's been talking about that for the entire year. It's his favorite route to throw. He loves that wheel route. He's been saying all year how much he wants to throw that to Steven, and one of the biggest plays of the year thus far for the passing game in the Raiders.
A junior wide receiver Drogan able to get that one for 23 yards, and the Raiders are knocking on the door here on our City of Hope scoreboard with 7:19 left to play in the opening quarter. Power, make it a wishbone formation here. Handoff goes to Hovelson, makes a man miss. He gets to the boundary, 15, cuts back into the 13, and gets to the 10-yard line. Ball comes out late, but they're going to say it was on the ground. Now it's a matter of, is it 1st and 10 at the 10.5, or is it 1st and goal at the 10?
They're spotting her right on the nose, right on the 10. So we are 1st and goal to go here.
That's one of those where I don't know, as a coach, you're never going to tell a guy to not run harder, but maybe, you get tackled a half yard earlier, Nathan, then you get maybe another opportunity at a 1st down, right?
Possible extra set of downs with how close you can get to the goal line, yes.
I'll come out here at that power formation again. Connor Dahl is the fullback with Reamer and Homelson in the backfield, Silling under center. This one, play action, has a man in the end zone off his back foot. This one in the end zone, for a touchdown, Raiders! Wyatt Silling, brother to brother, and it's 6 for Maple River.
That was an excellent play action fake by Silling and an even better route by his brother. Fantastic throw to finish it off. Great possession for the Raiders.
3 for 4 for Silling for 36 yards and a touchdown. Able to get that one for the score as well. And we'll have the 2-point conversion upcoming here in a moment for Maple River. 2-point conversion comes through Hovelson, and it's good. 8-8 on the scoreboard. Back after this on your live.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Impressive drive here for Maple River and the Raiders as they were able to go down the field. It started at 10:01, gets to 6:29, so 3.5 minutes, 80 yards for the touchdown for Maple River, and we're tied now at 8 apiece here on our City of Hope scoreboard. As Maple River will put this one on the tee with Calvin Santrum. This is a short pooch, fair caught for, and a smart play there by the Warbirds up man at the 38-yard line. And Nathan, I think that's one where sometimes you always talk about wanting to make a play as a player, but sometimes better to live another day, and that's what Jack Manstrom did. And a senior as well, just understood the situation. Sometimes it's just better to receive the ball, get good field position, and don't fumble or make a bad play when you have it at the 35, 40-yard line here for the Warbirds.
Coach Stringy, if he coaches the special teams or whoever does, deserves a high five because they've coached that. Not many guys see fair catches on a kickoff, so well done by that kid.
So 39-yard line here for Wyndmere Lidgewood with 6:29 left to play in the first quarter. Warbirds, what can they do for an encore? Handoff. This one goes to Arth, and Hovelson wraps him up in the backfield with a help from a couple of other Raiders, but one carry there for Arth, and Hovelson is there for the stick right in the A-gap.
You could argue that last possession was the biggest touchdown scoring drive of the entire year for the Raiders, and then they followed it up by executing in this first possession here with a great run stuff.
And that's going to be one thing where, again, going back to our pregame show with both coaches, you asked who might be some different makers and playmakers, but your star players got to come to play with Arth and Hovelson. But right now, one play for Brent for 66, one play for Arth for 0, and it's 2nd and 10. Shotgun formation again. Brant, QB keeper. This one goes right back up the middle again, past the 50. Could Brant go to the 40? And he's taken down close there for 20 yards. Well, he saw that play earlier for 66, and now it goes for 19. And I think I heard a coach say, fill your gaps, Nathan, on the sideline there.
Exactly right. Quarterback did a great job of getting the end on this side here to bite up the field. He got deeper than the quarterback. He stuck his foot in the ground. He went right through the gap that end was supposed to be filling.
So the Warbirds now will come out 1st and 10. I think you got to give a lot of credit so far to both Barton, Quam, and Kuzel right up the middle, opening up that opportunity here as you have a pair of tight ends in Quam and Kackman on either side here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. Hand up. This goes to Arth. Arth tries to stiff arm a man at the 40-yard line, and coming with the tackle is Dylan Reamer.
You know, it wasn't a pretty tackle. He got stiff armed to the ground, but your only job is to take him down, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do.
You have wide receivers of Manstrom here tonight. Also, a running back wideout in Kuchera. We mentioned Andrew Arth and Tyler Brandt here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. For the Raiders defense, Wyatt Silling and T. Silling bookends with defensive tackles of Levi Trader and Marty Rohrbeck. Linebackers of Reamer, Holvelson, Santrum, and Dahl with the safety and Stephen Drogan so far here tonight for the Raiders. 1st down and a lot of room to the left. They got 2 wide receivers near sideline here for the Warbirds. Brandt trying the hard count. Brandt will have it. Gets a kick out, gets the 35, fumbles the ball for a moment, gets it back. He lost it off his knee for a moment before he was met and tackled there by Marty Rohrbeck for about a gain of 5 to 6 yards.
Went hard count for the first time tonight, and nobody bit. Everybody did their job. Well done, both sides.
3rd down and short here, no doubt 4-down territory. Both teams with all 3 of their timeouts remaining here in this first quarter. It's 8-8, 9B football. It's kind of lived up to the billing so far with our 4th possession. 2 teams who are 3-1. You'd think you'd see some big plays. You'd think you'd see some big fireworks, and that's what we've seen in the opening handful of minutes here. Shotgun formation. Raiders showing just 1 down lineman, but they got 5 guys right at the line. Brandt throwing to the tight end, down the middle, caught into the end zone, touchdown, Warbirds! This one's going to hit Pater for 33 yards, able to slip out the tight end. Looks to be Carl Quam, the 6'5 senior at 180 pounds. He has 2 catches for 2 touchdowns on the season.
It's the exact same play the Raiders got beat by in the opening week with Colton Ness going right down the sideline, and they established the run early, and were able to sneak that tight end right down the seam.
And tell you what, we mentioned Trey Brandt only came in throwing 22 passes on the season, but 13 were for completions and 3 of them for touchdowns, and he's able to hit one deep right there. You focus so much on stopping the run, you just slip out a tight end for this touchdown here for the Warbirds. Motion man going right to left. Brandt, QB keeper, makes the little man miss, gets into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. 2 drives, 2 scores for Wyndmere Lidgewood. On our City of Hope scoreboard, it's 16-8 Warbirds on your live event.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
The dedicated staff at Wyndmere Auto provides service and repair on cars, tractors, and trucks. In addition to auto and truck service, Wyndmere Auto is a CarQuest auto parts dealer, providing auto parts and offering dealer direct parts from Dodge, Ford, and GM. Wyndmere Auto is also a fast sprayer dealer as they carry a full line of sprayer parts and storage tanks. For shop hours, specials, or CarQuest auto products, go online to WyndmereAuto.com. Wyndmere Auto, located at 500 Highway 13 West in Wyndmere.
As we come back here on our City of Hope scoreboard, that is Tyler Brandt again with the rushing touchdown, and Tyler Brandt with the passing score after he hit Carl Quam there for the 33-yard touchdown, and Tyler able to rush it in the end zone for the 2-point conversion as well. With 3:40 left to play here in the first quarter, the Warbirds been awfully impressive so far offensively here tonight for Wyndmere Lidgewood. Last drive takes nearly 3 minutes, 61 yards, goes down the field. That kick gets to about the 15-yard line, picked up there by Hovelson at the 20 to the 25, makes another man miss to the 30. Hovelson able to wheel and deal to about the 33-yard line here, the third possession for Maple River. We'll start very good field position here, be at their own 33-yard line.
It's going to be interesting to see, do they go and try to run the play clock down here and try to keep the Warbird offense off the field right now, because in the first quarter it hasn't looked terribly promising thus far.
And that's the one thing I was going to ask. If you're the defensive sided or the defensive mind so far for the Raiders, where do you go in terms of stopping? As much as we've paid attention to Andrew Orth, it's been Tyler Brandt who's really been the guy so far here tonight for Wyndmere Lidgewood.
Your focus has to shift here quickly and make sure that he doesn't beat you anymore.
And this one going to be a handoff to the outside and getting to about the 30, and then we're going to have a play coming out here. And from our standpoint, look like we might have a face mask on Wyndmere Lidgewood after the rush by Maple River.
Might be a horse color rather than a face mask from the angle that I had, but we'll see what they say.
And if this is the case, it would be the second penalty on Wyndmere Lidgewood as well. Already hit once with a 15-yard variety. And a horse color, Nathan Hoots, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's a 15-yard variety as well.
Yes, it is. It is face mask, though.
So they will give the face mask. So they'll take it from the spot of the foul at the 30-yard line and move it another 15 yards. So second penalty now of the night for 30 will give the Raiders the ball at the 43-yard line here. Downtown scoreboard, Lisbon leads Fargo Oak Grove after one quarter play, 16-0 at Fargo Davies High School. Under center is T. Silling. Gives the handoff here to Hovelson. It gets met right in the A-gap, and look at the Warbirds swarm. First one to come in through and able to get a good defensive knock there. Looked like Matthias Keckman was part of the party, and just some good hard hitting there by Wyndmere Lidgewood.
Keep an eye, all 9 guys, their first step is going toward the line of scrimmage to make sure they take away their run. It'll be interesting to see if anybody identified that over here and go a little play action, see if we can get one step on them down the field.
5 carries for 24 yards so far for Hovelson. Also, Levi Kackman was in there on the hard hitting by Wyndmere Lidgewood. Now the Raiders will space it out. 2 wide receivers, both left and right, in the shotgun formation here for T. Silling. Silling with the clap. There's able 4 to rush. Silling evades the pocket. Looks like he's going to keep it now to the 45. And here comes the safety on the backside like a bullet. That's Jack Manstrom with a great tackle in the open field to limit that to just a couple of yards.
T. Silling's got to realize that he might not be faster than every single Warbird out here. Put his foot in the ground, try to get as many yards as he can north and south rather than trying to get to the edge.
A good positive gain and maybe something against Lamar Litchomary, Nathan, where maybe T tries to force the ball down the field as much as that can be there at particular times. It's nice to also, as you just mentioned, get a couple of yards and get a little bit closer on third down.
Yeah, maturation process of a young quarterback. In 3 games, he's learned that, hey, 3-yard gain is better than throwing it up for grabs in traffic.
So now they come out with this full house backfield yet again for Maple River. The Warbirds of 4 defensive linemen. They're going to rush 5. Hovelson trying to get past that first line of defense. Able to break it to the outside, but the Warbirds doing a really good job of swarming to the football, and they limit Hovelson to a gain of 4. They still need 2 yards for the Raiders for the first.
I don't think there's much of a decision here for Coach Fontaine. The way the first punt went, netting about 20 yards, you probably might as well just go for it right here.
And they need about the 47, ball just north of the 50, so 2.5 yards of what you need here for Maple River for the first down. 1 punt, 1 touchdown here for Maple River. Where do you go offensively if it's not 22?
22.
Okay,
yeah,
there we go.
You're giving him the ball. You're living and dying with whatever he does here.
Let's see if we get a pitch play timeout. Coach Fontaine will break with them with the play clock getting down to 0. 1:18 left to play here in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. It's 4th and short coming up next on your live event.
Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region with the Coaches Show every Wednesday night on yourliveevent.com.
Goes deep down the middle, has a man, Soka Porter. Soka Porter to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and taken down there.
We'll dive into the latest stories from North Dakota and Minnesota.
And there's the block by Reese.
That's the Coaches Show with me, Joe Lancello, on yourliveevent.com every Wednesday night starting at 7.
Come back here. Joey Hughes running the camera, doing some behind-the-scenes stuff. Nathan Hoots on the sideline. Chase Miller with you here in Hope, North Dakota. 16-8 behind a pair of a rushing and a throwing touchdown by Tyler Brandt. But 4th and 2 here, Nathan. You said it when we went to break. Give the ball to 22. Is there any discussion if you give the ball to someone else? Do you use 22 as a decoy here maybe a little bit if you're Maple River?
You better get him way out on the edge if you want him to be a decoy here. If you do any type of a fake to him in between the tackles, it's not going to be enough. They're going to have all 9 guys selling out in between the tackles. If you're going to swing him out, maybe that draws some attention and give it to somebody else. Best bet, counter play, but give him the ball and let him. You got to live or die with him the way he's played so far this year.
As the Raiders again will need the 47 here on your live event. They come out same formation, power I. Hovelson dots it back at his own 45. T Stilling under center. The Warbirds, we'll see what they do. Here's the pitch play. Hovelson makes a man miss, breaks a tackle, spins, carrying defenders with him. And I tell you what, Hovelson did everything because the Warbirds got in the backfield immediately, and I'm not sure how Hovelson was able to muster even 2 yards, much less the 3.5 that he needed.
That was a 2-yard gain, but 7 yards after contact. That is absolutely impressive.
That was might be our RDK Enterprises precision play of the game potentially here if it comes to a touchdown in any type of score for Maple River. Hovelson just showing you he's not going to go down. Game clock under 60 seconds here. Same formation again for Maple River. Reamer, the slot on the near sideline. Fullback dive. This one goes to the fullback here for about a couple yards, and I think that is one where you need to do that with Connor Dahl a couple of times there, Nathan, just to keep the defense honest.
Keep the defense honest. Hovelson knows that play. He's not getting the ball. He can take a couple deep breaths, be ready to go for the next one.
And if Maple River wants to, they could take this as the last play of the first quarter, switch the fields, and go to the other side here. We'll see what they do with 20 seconds left on the game clock. But Connor Dahl able to get a couple of yards right off the bat under the center. Everybody froze a little bit. Then the Warbirds linebacking crew able to wrap up and make the tackle. Under center against T. Stilling. He sees the clock. See if he maybe tries to get a hard count. Nope, they're going to go for a passing play here. T looking down the middle. That's going to be off his brother's hands. Did have Drogan coming across a flat that might have been open. Instead, the clock will stop, and that's how we'll end our first quarter of play. For the opening 12 minutes, it's a 8-point lead for the Warbirds. It'll be 3rd down and 6 when we come back here from Hope on your live event.
Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada. They have the full line of Fendt, Massey Ferguson, and Challenger tractors. They have high-capacity Claas combines. They are your new Brandt dealer. Visit with them for augers, grain carts, heavy harrows, and Brandt's new vertical tillage. Ziegler Ag Equipment has Bourgault chisel plows, and they are your Amity beet equipment dealer. They have on the lot a new Wilrich 51-foot chisel plow. Call 218-784-2961. Talk with Chuck or Neil for pricing. Ziegler Ag Equipment, 218-784-2961.
Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro and surrounding communities, ready to provide you with service work to existing and new customers. Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro area and surrounding communities.
As we continue here from Hope, North Dakota, 3rd down and 6 upcoming here for Maple River, a drive that has already amassed over 3 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock. Raiders will come out. This one will be to the outside. Reamer, and look at the tackle, and then a ball comes out late, but Reamer spins his way past the 40 to the 39 for 2 yards there, but I'm very impressed. And we have another flag upcoming here, and this is going to be extracurriculars potentially for the 3rd time here tonight.
Something late happened. I was looking over at the sideline to see what the coaches were discussing for the 4th and 4, but it's not looking like it'll have to be a decision.
Well, this is another unsportsmanlike. It is. That's the second one of the game where we've had a personal foul, we've had an unsportsmanlike, and now we have a face mask. So 3 penalties, all the biggest variety you can have in high school football. And Nathan, 3 penalties, 45 yards, something that you mentioned in the pregame show to Scott Stringy. hey, you've only committed 11 penalties this season. We've already seen 3 of them for the biggest yardage. Scott's not going to be too happy with that from the Warbirds side.
It'd be super frustrating. Like you said, every one of them resulting in a first down, but even more importantly, it's been third down or first or second and long that have then turned into a first down.
So 1st and 10 now. Here's Hovelson, dots the I, Silling under center. Warbirds have been bringing pressure throughout the night. They don't stop here. This one off his back foot. Silling, that one's going to be intercepted at the 10-yard line. Warbirds to the 20, to the 25, 30, and Wyndmere Lidgewood able to earn the first turnover of the night here for the Warbirds defense. That is Levi Kackman in there with his 2nd interception of the season.
A great blitz pickup, and Raiders gave him time. Mr. Silling just didn't throw it off his front foot. He was falling backwards, and a deep out. That is a tough throw.
Levi Kackman with the pick. So that'll be an interception to end the drive there for Maple River, as Wyndmere Lidgewood, the Warbirds, will handle it at their 30-yard line here with 11:33 left to play in the second quarter. Reminder, Wyndmere Lidgewood did defer to the second half. So if they're able to get a score up here, they would be up by 2 possessions, potentially nearing our halftime report. One wide receiver split out either side as Tyler Brandt again in the shotgun formation. Tyler keeps it here, able to pick up a block to the 35-40. And what's been so impressive tonight so far here for the Warbirds offensive line, able to just open up holes for Tyler Brandt, and he is just making some huge gashes on the running game.
The Raiders D-line is just getting pushed back and creased on every single play. They have got to make some type of an adjustment here.
4 carries, 103 yards with a score so far for Tyler Brandt. He's got 1 pass for 33 yards and a touchdown. He's an early indication to put his name in the half-hour Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. Same formation again with Arth to the right-hand side. Arth gets it on this one to the 45, to the 50, and Hovelson makes the wrap-up tackle, but a gain of 10, a gain of 12, and before you blink, the Warbirds into Raider territory.
Hovelson has saved touchdowns, I believe, on back-to-back plays here. This is unfortunate. He cannot be making plays 15 yards down the field. It needs to be at the line of scrimmage or behind if they're going to get them into negative game script.
What is the adjustment here for Maple River, if there is one? Because the Warbirds, 1 wide receiver either side, tight end other side of the line. What do you have to do defensively here, Nathan?
You go 5-man front or 3-man front and cover up the center and see if you maybe can get them some guards to be uncovered and see if that gives them a different look.
As Tyler Brandt makes a cutback, able to blow that one up immediately. It was T. Silling in the backfield, and Hovelson with another tackle. This one, though, a gain of 2. So Silling able to disrupt the play a little bit in the backfield, forces the quarterback in Tyler Brandt to cut back into some help there, and Hovelson makes a tackle.
First switch on the defensive line, they go a little smaller, bring in Calvin Satcham. He's about 40 pounds lighter than Levi Trader, and maybe a little bit more speed and make plays in the backfield that way.
It's going to be second down here upcoming now for Wyndmere Lidgewood. 2nd and 8. As this one will be play action. Brandt getting flushed. This one to the outside of the 40-yard line. Now to the 30-yard line here for Wyndmere Lidgewood to the outside. It's Kackman to the 40, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. A broken play that goes 47 yards for the score. And make that Tyler Brandt has his 2nd passing touchdown of the night.
Well, it's the exact same type of play that turned into a turnover for the Raiders. It's the same play the Warbirds just ran right there. Unfortunately, they took a chance and tried to get the pick, and it burnt them and touchdown.
Well, that's going to be a tough one there, as that's going to be Levi Kackman again, able to get that one for 47 yards. You got Carl Quam for 33 yards. Kackman now for 47, and a 2-point conversion upcoming. Able to bring the pressure, but Tyler was able to sling it out of there before he was going to get hit and sacked, and it results in 6 on the scoreboard. Tyler Brandt handles it, cuts back in, and just cut a little bit of the rug right there instead of getting the cut and making a proper one to get the 2-point conversion. But regardless, on our City of Hope scoreboard, there's a new score. Warbirds lead it by 14 here on your live event.
There is another way to minimize your farm's risk and protect its equity with margin protection coverage. This is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with IRE Insurance. Margin protection provides coverage against an unexpected decrease or increase in operating margin. In other words, we can put a policy in place to protect you from changing input costs and crop prices on your farm. Let us help you explore this option between now and September 30th to get you covered. For more information, go to IREINS.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irene.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
We come back here with 9:36 left to play. Coming up on our halftime show, we'll get to our first half numbers. What has been the advantage so far here for Wyndmere Lidgewood tonight and more. That's all coming up here on our halftime report. And we'll get to our out-of-town scoreboard as well. A flurry of games across your live event this evening. But the Warbirds and Maple River, the Raiders, battle of 3-1 teams. Winner wants to keep that winning streak alive and get to 4-1. It is a non-region game, but could be a potential playoff preview, maybe, depending on how the regions stack up here in the next couple weeks. Hovelson sees that one go through the breadbasket, gets it on the bounce to the outside, 20, 25, 30. He's at the 35. Hovelson makes a man miss at the 40, keeps going, and then he's taken down at midfield as the Warbirds were one shoestring tackle away from potentially giving up a 90-yard kickoff return. Instead, 1st and 10 for the Raiders, and just what the doctor ordered with a Hovelson big run and a return here on the kickoff.
Great blocking on the outside over here on my sideline by the Raiders. Did an awesome job of sealing and letting that Hovelson catch the edge.
47-yard line, they'll mark it here. The Raiders with 2 timeouts remaining in this first half, excuse me. This is the 4th possession of the half here for Maple River. I'll come out with that wishbone offense again with T. Stilling under center, handoff Hovelson, and Hovelson gets met right in the gap there. Looks to be Andrew Art, the middle linebacker, coming in. As much as we've talked about Hovelson having to worry about Brandt and Orth on one side, Arth comes in and delivers a pop there on Hovelson to make it 2nd and long.
That was quite the collision there in the middle. Arth kind of picked him up, and then Hovelson got his feet back under him and tried to chug and got about 2 more feet after that, but that is quite the collision.
I was going to say the pads are popping tonight down there a little bit. You could kind of hear it almost from way up top. I know we were talking about the cannon here, but I think that was cannon fire on the field in Hope.
That's exactly right. This is a lot of fun to see these two going at it.
2nd and 9 here for the Raiders as Silling will be under center again. And the Warbirds just keep putting 2 men right over the center, bluffing to bring some pressure. This time they go back into more of just the conventional defense, and Hovelson is able to get to the outside, bring a couple of Warbirds with him, and gets another healthy gain. This one now to the 47-yard line, so a gain of 5 yards as Carl Quam gets a tackle.
A nice job of understanding that he didn't have the edge set and put his foot in the ground and got 4 or 5 yards right up the field.
So with 8:17 left to play in this first half, 3rd and short here for the Raiders. If you're Coach Scott Stringer, you're saying we don't need any more after the play penalties. Let's get the 3rd down and get to 4th. If you're Larry Fontaine, keep going to Hovelson has been the bread and butter so far here tonight. They give it to Hovelson there on a pitch play, and all the Warbirds were ready for it, shoving off one Raider and then able to get into the backfield right away was Dylan Severson, the junior linebacker.
It's tough when you go with such a short pitch rather than a deep, wide pitch that if you get quick outside pressure by that end, it forces it up the field immediately, and you got filling linebackers just waiting.
And now it's 4th down and long here for the Raiders. Maple River will have a 4th down, and they will need to get to the 43. The ball is currently spotted at the 48-yard line, so 4th and 5 to try to split it. Where do you go here? Do you go to the shotgun formation? You keep the tight formation for Maple River, Nathan?
I guess I was going to say go under center and look at a bootleg, but you know what? You spread out and you get the box number that you want here when you go spread against man-to-man.
As the Warbirds adjusting late defensively here, Hovelson goes out into the flat. T. Silling has some time, gets popped in the backfield. Ball is 3. Warbirds are going to pick it up, but they're going to say it's an incomplete pass. Carl Quam comes up there and makes the hit. Matthias Kackman was going to bring up the ball and try to run down the field, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. And they're just talking with Coach Scott String and just saying that the ball was coming forward for the incomplete pass instead of the run. But regardless, Nathan, that was on 4th down, so it'd be turnover on downs regardless here for Wyndmere Lidgewood.
Yeah, it'll probably cost them about 10 yards when it's all said and done. But what is unfortunate for the Raiders' offensive line is their DNs just lined up outside of of those guards and went straight up the field and were on ceiling before he could even blink.
So 6:57 now left to play in the first half, and the Warbirds, they can really put a stranglehold on this game with a score. It's still a 2-score game, but if you get up by 3 scores, not to say that Maple River doesn't have the team or the talent to overcome it. That's just trying to go Mount Kilimanjaro instead of maybe Mount Hope or Mount Finley here around the corner here, Nathan.
Exactly right. And what's in the back of your mind is you know that you kicked off to start the game. You're going to get the ball to start the second half. If you could wear down this clock and score before the half and get it to start again the second half, it might be over.
Tyler Brandt here. I'll put the motion man in the backfield. Looks to be Kackman again. This one's going to be pitched out to the outside here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. And Levi Kackman, he's able to get to the outside, and Levi gets to the 40-yard line, then slips, and it's the first down. And I've seen just a number of different players able to get some speed, and Levi Kackman has definitely been that here tonight for the Warbirds.
It's a different look they gave. You always worry when Stringy lines up and something you haven't seen yet, that something tricky's coming. I thought maybe we'd end up with a running back or a halfback pass there, but just ran outside, got 15 yards right off the bat.
So you're able to go to the outside, and maybe the speed right now might be the difference maker that we're seeing from the Warbirds, the Raiders here, particularly when you get to the outside. Andrew Arth, obviously the Bulldogs are in the inside, but once they get to the outside right now, Nathan, it seems like the Warbirds just have a little bit more speed.
There's an advantage that you can see right now. First time we're seeing a safety from the Raiders here.
As this one will be a pitch play, same, just to the near sideline here for Kackman. Holvelson is there and says, not this time. Fool me once. All right, fool me twice. Shame on me. And Holvelson comes unevaded for the tackle for a loss. That's a tackle for a loss of 6 back to the 47.
See, the uniqueness of 9-man football. Quarterback tosses and then immediately turns into the lead blocker. Unfortunately, he didn't quite see, the best player on the field and didn't get Holvelson, but it's always interesting to see how a team runs sweep in 9-man football. You get your quarterback out and block.
Levi Kackman, the junior, and yeah, you get your 9-man quarterback. What was it, Tom Brady kind of going at one of his former teammates? Or no, Aaron Rodgers this past weekend going over one of his former teammates in that Vikings-Packers game. Shotgun, here's another wrinkle as well. This one goes to Arth, and Arth to the 40-yard line, to the 35-yard line. Arth gets taken down by Reamer at the 32, so he's going to be just shy of the first, but a gain of 15.
The one thing that I guarantee Scott Strange saw in that play is he has one-on-one with our quarterback and their quarterback is what he's thinking right now on the DN on this side with that replay. He's probably going to come back to that and tell the quarterback to keep it and see if we can win one-on-one.
So 5:40 left to play here in the first half, and well, after a first down, a loss of 6, able to get Arth for 15 yards, and, well, where you want it to be, ahead of the chains and ahead of the sticks. 3rd and short upcoming here for the Warbirds, as in the backfield again is Levi Kackman behind the quarterback of Tyler Brandt. Handoff, gets one, goes to Arth. Arth goes to the boundary, breaks a tackle to the 30, to the 25, hops over a man to the 20, and gets taken down there, but a gain of 12 and a half yards for the first down again for Wyndmere Lidgewood.
Missed tackle about 7-8 yards earlier in the play, and it'd still be a first down, but yards after contact, we talked about it in the pregame. That's extremely important when you're playing against Andrew Arth.
5 carries, 41 yards for Arth, and Andrew Arth able to get to the outside, veer to the outside plateau, and sometimes it's 3rd and 2, and you want him to get those 3-4 yards, but when he can get to the outside, Arth showing that he's got the ability to break some tackles as well on the ground. First down and 10. Clock continues to tick, tick, tick under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Shotgun formation, another wrinkle here, and we're going to get a timeout. This by Scott Stringy will break as well. First timeout by the Warbirds here tonight. 4:50 left to play in the first half. It's the Warbirds driving on the Raider 21 on your live event.
Do you want that new boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsborough location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
For Wyndmere Lidgewood after the timeout here, we'll see where they go, but it's been the Tyler Brandt show so far. 5 carries, 105 yards with a touchdown. took the first play from scrimmage 66 yards, and Tyler with a 33-yard touchdown to Carl Quam, and a 47-yard score to Levi Kackman as well. What has been something that's been very impressive tonight here in your eyes, Nathan, for the quarterback in white here in Wyndmere Lidgewood in Tyler Brandt?
Quarterback in white, not in green. He has not been taken down very much. Every time he's going down, it is 10, 15, 20 yards down the field. The offensive line is just creating seams that are gigantic.
And if you got to give credit to that line, I know there's a center that stands at 5'4", but then you got a guy at 6'1" to his left and 6 foot to his right. So you're able to get the center of balance, and all of a sudden just boom, you get pushed back. This one goes right through the wickets. And a good job. And, well, speaking of green, I'm going to see some green on that one for Tyler Brandt, but he did a really good job of just getting right back on the ball because T. Silling would have been about a half step quicker. He might have had a chance to gobble it up for himself. Instead, it's a loss of 9 on the play.
You go back to that 5'4" center that you're talking about, but it's what's way more important than height is leverage, and he is getting up and underneath the pads of Levi Trader, number 60 or 72. He's 6'2", but he's getting right up underneath him. It's so hard for a guy that's a foot taller to get underneath and leverage against his little lineman.
Both teams now with 2 timeouts remaining. Keep that in mind, barring how this possession ends up for the Warbirds here. Shotgun formation. Tyler in the gun with Arth to his left. Tyler's going to keep it. Tyler gets the 25 and getting a wrap-up tackle in the middle here for Maple River is Liam Satcham, the senior linebacker. Gain of 7 makes it 3rd and 12. Brand able to get a majority of that yardage back that was missed. So far, 7 attempts, over 100 yards tonight. Andrew Orth make that 5 carries for 41 yards. Tyler through the air, 2 of 2 for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That last play reopens the playbook. You have a lot of plays you can run 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 when you know you have 2 downs. 3rd and 19 is a different story.
Wide receiver split out either side here for Tyler, back in the gun with Andrew to his right. Option play on the read, and Tyler's going to keep it. Hovelson able to make the tackle past the 20 to the 18 for a 4-yard gain, but I keep looking at the clock that just ticks, and again, the Warbirds get it to start the second half. And if you're first things first, if you're Coach Fontaine, you need to stop, but if you're Wyndmere Lidgewood, you get the first down here, Nathan, you can really milk the time almost to the half.
It's exactly right. It could be you're not seeing the ball until middle of the 3rd quarter if you don't get a stop right here.
So 4th down, the Warbirds will need the spot here is 4th and 7 at the 18, so they'll need the 11 for the first. Trips to the far sideline here, and Scott Stringy wants a timeout. Didn't like what he saw originally, and we'll keep it here with 2:44 to play to talk about this particular play. This is one of those where you would circle as a pendulum play for those scoring at home, because if it's a first down for the Warbirds, they get it in for 6. Again, they get the ball to start the second half. If Maple River gets a stop here, Nathan, then all of a sudden you got 2 timeouts in your back pocket for Coach Fontaine, and maybe a broken tackle here or there. You could find yourself down the other end of the field and make it a 1-score game potentially before we get to the half.
Yeah, this is a giant momentum play. I think if you'd ask Coach Fontaine right now, he'd take 0-0 the last 2:44 here at the half and go 22-8 at half. But this is a play that defensive coordinators that faced Wyndmere Lidgewood for the last 20 years have nightmares about, because he's over there. They've probably ran through 87 different formations that they could run this, in this situation. He came out with trips. He's had two running backs to the left of the quarterback on a couple possessions here, or plays here in this possession. It's just he can come up and dial up anything here. Every single play is in the book, and that's what should make the Raiders nervous.
So Scott Stringy and the Warbirds will have 1 timeout remaining. On the opposite side for Maple River, again, they have 3. The Warbirds 7-3 the last 2 years. They beat Finley Sharon Hope Page in the playoffs last year. In that final year, the Co-op lost to Cavalier in the 2nd round, lost to North Border in the 1st round up at Pembina in 2020. But for the last 6 seasons for the Warbirds, they've been in the playoffs. 4th down, and they need the 11 for the first. Pocket collapses here, and Tyler Brandt is going to throw it in the back. And coming up with it, it's not going to matter. It's going to be a turnover on downs regardless, or a fumble recovery. But what that does, it's 7 yards of real estate that's going to go for Maple River, and get a lot of credit to Silling wide on the outside, able to come in there, Nathan, and kind of disrupt the play immediately for Maple River.
Absolutely right. But the defensive coordinator for Maple River's got to be extremely excited. That was also a coverage sack. All 3 guys were blanketed. No one was open here running free in the inside the goal line. It was tremendous defense there by the Raiders.
25-yard line here for Maple River, as they will handle it now after the turnover on downs. The question for Coach Fontaine and the Raiders, now can you use this to your advantage?
I could see a conservative play call here to start this possession. Try to get it, 2nd and 6 or something like that. Move the clock a little bit. You don't want to give them the ball back here using their last time out and having, a minute and a half to go in a short field.
So you're telling me this first play might really determine a lot.
Absolutely, yes. This dictates the entire possession right here.
I formation again with Hovelson dotting the I. The Warbirds have all their eyes around him, and while they're able to make a tackle for about a gain of 4 for Hovelson, the end on the outside, and Plum, able to, the 6'5 senior, makes the tackle, but not before Hovelson gets 4.
You have like a 2-minute drill and a 4-minute drill. This isn't exactly a 2-minute drill because you don't want to be going hurry up and going fast. This is more of a, hey, let's try to get 1 first down and then we'll be more aggressive.
And we know that T's got a little bit of a cannon too. So, if you can throw 15, 20 yards down the field, like we saw the Warbirds do it just earlier in this game, right? 20-yard down the field, break a tackle, boom, now you get 40 yards.
Yep. Now we're starting to see some safeties over the top. Wyndmere's believing that they can get the stops in with the running game. They're not going to get beat over the top here.
Wyndmere Lidgewood trying to get set defensively. Hovelson makes a cutback on the inside, and then Matt, that's going to go for nothing. And again, there's one Quam on one side. That's Carl. There's a Quam on the other side. That's Brian, and Brian Quam was able to get up to the outside, and we've got an injury on the play. This looks to be number 72 for Maple River, Levi Trader. He will have to come out of the game, and they'll have to bring a new Raider in. But the good news is he's able to walk off under his own power as he goes to the far sideline. So it'll be something to make a note of for the rest of this game, and particularly for this half moving forward. And again, what are you playing here? The gamesmanship under 80 seconds to play with the Warbirds with that one timeout. You want to be aggressive, but like Nathan said earlier, you don't want to give them a lot of time to use that one timeout. Full house backfield. Hovelson gets tripped up in the backfield. That's for a gain of 3 yards here. The Scotch Stringy used that final timeout. He's going to keep it. They do have one remaining, but not before the Hovelson gets 3 yards. And I tell you what, Nathan, the one thing that stood out to me for the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds tonight is a lot of really good tackles on the first hit on Hovelson.
That's exactly right. I think he's feasted the last 3 weeks off of missed tackles and then making them pay in the open field. It's interesting now. Are they just going to run it down and punt it? Or are they going to run it out and take a timeout, then punt? It's a chess match here in the last couple of minutes. It's great.
If you're Coach Fontaine, you're probably going to take that timeout as it continues to roll here before you break the huddle. Again, he's got 2 remaining. Or they can try to punt the football away as you got Santrum back at the 20. The Warbirds have no one back as a returner here as it goes to 20, now to 19, down to 18. The clock keeps ticking here. Does Fontaine, or we get a dead ball, or we get a delay of game, and there it is. The clock stops at 13, and this would be the first penalty of the night here for Maple River, and that'll make it go back 5 yards. So you milk as much time as you can. Now you need to get the punt off. If you're Wyndmere Lidgewood, do you go after this punt? You set up for a return and put like a Cackman or someone who's got some speed back there here for the Warbirds?
I don't think you're terribly worried that they're going to go any type of a fake. You put one guy back and you send everybody else and try to make something happen here.
The Warbirds right now playing everything safe. They have no one back again, making sure that there's no fake, nothing of that nature. Is Satcham, all that he'll need to do, just find a way to get the punt off. Drops the ball, does get the punt off somehow, and it's going to roll at the 40, take a backspin at the 40, and the Warbirds will have great starting field position with 5 seconds left to play in the first half. Not probably enough time for 2 plays unless you're going to go really quickly, but enough to definitely have the opportunity of a Tyler Brandt to throw the ball 40 yards down the field and have Hail Mary situation off a punt that doesn't go more, quite honestly, Nathan, than 15 yards.
Yeah, exactly. You are telling your DBs you are deeper than the deepest always. You are not biting on anything. No play action in the backfield draws you upward whatsoever. You're not jumping on anything.
This is the first possession for either team to start in positive territory north of the 50-yard line in the opposition. So where does a flea flicker come into play? Do you add a hook and ladder, name your trick play or gadget play here? Or is it just, hey, give Tyler some time, unwind, and deliver down the field?
You have one-on-one here on this side. I think it's you just take a chance. You hope your guys block up front and give them a shot.
Little 3-step drop. The Raiders bring 4. Enough time here for Tyler to throw it down the field to the end zone. Incomplete for Cackman at the goal line, and that's how we'll end the first half of play. A chance for Wyndmere Lidgewood late, unable to get in the end zone, but the Warbirds 16 points in the first quarter, able to score 6 points in the second, Maple River 8 points in the first quarter and scoreless in the second. After one half of play, it's 22-8. Our halftime show and first half thoughts coming up next here on your live event.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
You couldn't pick a better community to be a part of. I've actually been to another college, and this one was a far better experience because of the support of the faculty and the staff here. It's just outstanding. My name is Andrew, and I'm here for my future.
It feels like you're at a bigger university. Right now I won't have any debt, and I might even gain a little extra money through scholarships. There's so many job opportunities. My name is Emily, and I'm here for my future.
Serving Mahnomen and the surrounding communities for 34 years, it's Pregame Super Value, your hometown grocery store in Mahnomen. Stop by today. Great weekly specials, delicious fresh produce, along with baked goods that are baked fresh daily, and a fully stocked meat department. Great deals. You'll find them at your hometown grocery store, Pregame Super Value. Celebrating 34 years, it's your hometown grocery store, Pregame Super Value in Mahnomen.
Triple E in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
As we continue on our halftime show on our City of Hope scoreboard, we'd like to thank City of Hope and all of our sponsors for providing coverage. Without them, we would be unable to be here for the City of Hope. From job listings and housing options, search hopend.com. That's hopend.com for more information. Chase Miller with you alongside with Nathan Hoots, and you have Joey Hughes behind the scenes. Nathan, as we get ready to look at the stats here in a little bit and our out-of-town scoreboard, a lot of games getting to the half right now. What has stood out from, I'll start with the team that's leading, Wyndmere Lidgewood, and then we'll get to Maple River in a second. But Tyler Brent obviously has been the show tonight. Andrew Orth, you know, we talked about how much he might be 1A. Well, he's been 1B if you're the defense for Maple River. But I think you've hit it on the head. The line play, both offensively and defensively so far, has really, I think, maybe been the bread and butter for the Warbirds here tonight.
Yeah, exactly right. You come into a game and you study the skill guys and you worry about all them, but it's the guys up front that make the biggest difference, and they are the difference right now. They are making seams and creases and pushing guys back and pushing guys around all game long thus far, and that has to change if Maple River wants to get back in the game.
If you're going to do that, you're able to give a lot of credit to Kuzel, to Jared Quam, to Jason Borton. And what makes it difficult in nine-man football with the double tight ends, right? You got a Matthias Kackman on one side. You got a Levi Kackman who's just got the speed on the outerior for the Warbirds. But then you have a Carl Quam who's 6'5", and Matthias Kackman who's 6'4". What does that also do to allow to open up some holes in that one wide receiver either side read option game that we've been seen by the Warbirds here tonight?
Yeah, there's so many options that you have. I mean, every time they run read option, they know they have one-on-one on the backside end. And the way that Strangy calls plays, it seems to be, you know, pound, 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 and then they take a shot, pound, shot, you know, and they just keep doing that. And that's what wears down a defense is that, you know, every single play, you never know whether you're going to get run over or run by. So that can wear on a defense throughout a game.
If you're Maple River, the first things first, find a way to get a stop, right? That's number one here to start the third quarter, to not make this a 3-possession game. But we always hear sometimes, are you playing on your toes or are you playing on your heels? And it seems like we've seen Maple River more here tonight, Nathan, at least through the first 24 minutes, play a little bit more on their heels, particularly from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Playing on their heels, and I think the team speed, they just haven't seen that the last 3 weeks. They haven't seen this team speed since Lemoore, you know, in the middle of August. So that it takes some time to adjust to that. They did get a stop to end the half, which is extremely important, and I'm sure they're focusing on that right now. Hey, we keep doing what we did in that last possession. We're going to give ourselves a shot.
Who needs to step up here? And there's not just one guy, it's a team game. Again, punting has definitely not been something for Maple River that they want to have to do. We've seen a couple of punts here tonight. Obviously, that needs to be part of the game that continues to improve, not just here tonight, but throughout the season. Clay Hovelson has got a very workmanlike 13 carries for 44 yards on top of how many tackles he's been in defensively as well. But who needs to be the second or third player here for Maple River on an offensive side to take some of the pressure off of Hovelson? Because right now the game plan, obviously, for any team coming in going up against the Raiders is stop number 22 and force someone else to beat you right now.
Absolutely. If one other guy makes a really big play, that could be the difference. And I think, Fontaine might be going, hey, I think we're going to go LA Chargers here in the second half. Just go for it on every single fourth down, no matter where we're at, down and distance. We're going to call plays like we got 4 downs to get it every single time. If the offensive line steps up and gives the same type of effort and execution like Wyndmere's first half offensive line, then we have a game here in the second half.
Maple River, after losing to Lemoore Litchfield, has outscored their competition the last 3 games 126 to 36. That's an average of 42 to 12. On the opposite side, coming into tonight, it's the same story for the Warbirds. After getting beat by Mayport CG, they've outscored the competition 158 to 16. That's 52 to 5, and 2 teams with 3 straight wins. Final thing, Nathan, for you, opening 24 minutes, just the final thoughts here as we kind of put an exclamation point on the first half before we take a break and take a look at out-of-town scores and numbers. Just what's one thing that stood out from you, just whether it was offense, defense, or special teams from either side?
The thing I'm focusing on right now, if I'm coaching either team, is the first possession both ways. Maple River didn't really get anything going except for that one possession that they had. They need to focus on what they did on that one possession and really, really hammer that ball every single time they get an opportunity, and then go play action. And the one touchdown they got all 9 guys from Wyndmere Lidgewood to suck up and hit them over the top. If that play action can get in, make it into the game plan here in the second half, and then we will have a game.
Nathan Hoots on the sidelines. Joey Hughes again running the camera, doing behind-the-scenes work here as well in Hope, North Dakota. Chase Miller with you here on the play-by-play. Warbirds lead it on our City of Hope scoreboard, 22-8. A look at the first half numbers and our out-of-town scoreboard coming up next here on your live event.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hope-page.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou does it all. They provide full shop services for your tractors, combines, trucks, pickups, and cars. Their tire department carries a full line of name brand tires, and they've got state-of-the-art alignment equipment. And don't forget about the parts department. They have parts for just about anything, right down to your lawnmower. Call today, 218-935-2774. Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
Get to our out-of-town scoreboard here in 9-man football. How about this? Larimore, the Polar Bears, down by 6 at the half against a top 5 team in Cavalier, 14-8. part of our out-of-town scores so far. Davies over West Fargo 7-6. Kindred 43-0 over Northern Cass as well on your liveevent.com. Also on your liveevent.com, Thompson 20, Rugby 14 in 11B football. Number 1 Shanley in AA losing by 7 to West Fargo Cheyenne, and Kindred just scored again. They lead at 50-0 now with 21 seconds left to play in the first half. Those are some of the out-of-town scores so far. Also on your live event, a good one in Castleton here tonight. 14-0 Squirrels over Sargent County. So those are some of the scores coming in. And Lisbon all over Oak Grove, 30-0 in Fargo. Well, let's take a look at some of the finals, and then we'll have Nathan Hoots give a final here with Griggs Makota and Enderlin in a second as well. But taking a look at the first half numbers for Wyndmere Lidgewood, the Warbirds with 237 yards of total offense, 157 yards rushing on 15 attempts. That's easy math. 10 yards a pop. That's a first down per rush so far here for the Warbirds. There is 3 penalties, something that Coach Stringy will not want to have, but 0 turnovers for Wyndmere Lidgewood. Tyler Brandt so far 2 of 2 for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns passing. Brandt with 8 carries, 107 for yardage, and an opening score of 66 yards to start the game for Tyler Brandt. You have Andrew Orth, 5 carries for 41 yards. Kackman, 2 carries for 9 yards. You have Levi Kackman, 1 catch, 47 yards, and a score. And Carl Quam, 1 catch, 33 yards, and a touchdown as well here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. On the opposite side for the Maple River Raiders, 93 yards of total offense, 57 yards, 16 attempts so far here for Maple River. There is 1 turnover, a Levi Kackman interception of T. Silling, and there's just been 1 penalty for 5 yards for the Raiders. Clay Hovelson, a bring your pail and continue to work type of performance. 13 carries, 44 yards on the ground. Reamer, 2 carries for 7, 2 carries for T. Silling for 2 yards, and Dahl, 1 carry for 4 yards. T through the air, 3 of 7 for 36 yards, a touchdown and a pick. You have Drogan, 1 catch for 23 yards. Wyatt Silling, 1 catch for 10 and a score. And Reamer, 1 catch for 3 yards here. Our look at the opening numbers for Maple River. And how about this? Griggs Makota and Enderlin, we mentioned for Wyndmere Lidgewood and also for Maple River. We be scoreboard watching here tonight. Hatton Northwood at Mayport CG in Region 2. Griggs Makota at Enderlin tonight. Nathan, what was the final there between Griggs Makota and Enderlin?
Yeah, Griggs Makota getting the upset win, or at least you would have thought upset in the beginning of the year. 24-0 at Enderlin, getting on the board, getting to 1-4 on the season is Griggs Makota, but got a win in Region 2.
So Griggs Makota now goes to 1-1 in Region 2 play, which means Enderlin drops to 0-1. Also, games still to come upcoming for both those teams for the Maple River Raiders tonight in Region 1 play. Richland at Lamorla, Marion, Tri-State, and Hankinson. And a final out-of-town scoreboard. Langdon leads Hillsborough Central Valley in 11B football tonight in Buxton, 20-15 at the half. That's a good one here tonight also on your live event. Final thing for you, Nathan, before we take a break and come back and get ready for the second half. Kickoff adjustments. Those are always going to be made in-game. There's always going to be made during timeouts. But here at the half for both teams is Wyndmere Lidgewood. More is better with Brandt and Orth. Or do you make any adjustments? And same thing here for Maple River. What do you have to do?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's Wyndmere Lidgewood right now. And Maple River, it is broke right now. So they got to fix it. They've gone 4-man front the whole first half. I'd say, come out in a 3-man or a 5-man. Give them an odd man look. Switch up all their calls on the offensive line to make them think a little bit extra. Get an extra guy in the box possibly. Or are you afraid and go with a safety over the top and just bring heat and have that safety protect, from the big plays? There's a lot of different things that Maple River can do and is, potentially can do to get back in the game.
Maple River will just get ready for kickoff here as we get ready for the third quarter here tonight as the Raiders will come out. And, well, I'm not going to sure if you're going to do anything in terms of Scott Frost. I mean, I would like the buyout from Nebraska, but I know a lot of people will remember the onside kick in Ireland against Northwestern here. And if you're Wyndmere Lidgewood, how much of a coach are you preaching about that to start a half here if you're the Warbirds after Maple River kind of looking for a shot in the arm, so to speak here, Nathan?
Tyler Schlecht was my longtime special teams coordinator, and that was always the last thing he said as we broke the huddle as we walked out. Be aware, be alive, have your hands ready.
Calvin Satcham will put this one on the tee. Here you have Kuchera and Levi Kackman back at their own 15-yard line for the Warbirds. This one will be an end-over-end kick to the 35-yard line to the up man there for the Warbirds, and able to get to the 40-yard line here, and about a gain of 11 on the kick is going to be Brian Quam able to get that one to the 45-yard line. So a really good starting field position here for the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds.
I think the idea was to get that thing past that second line and see if it can run out a little bit, and maybe you can pin him deep, but unfortunately he kicked it right at the guy, which is just unfortunate.
So for Wyndmere Lidgewood, you had a touchdown, a touchdown, a touchdown, turnover on downs, and half one play were your first 5 possessions of half number 1. 10 possessions combined in the first half, even though the Warbirds just had, well, they bookended perfectly. 1 play for a score and 1 play to try to get a Hail Mary there at the very end as we get ready to get underway here in this third quarter of play. 1 wide receiver split out either side here for the Warbirds as they'll come out here with Tyler Brandt at quarterback yet again to start this third quarter. And Brent, well, we see Hovelson, and we mentioned Hovelson's just going to be everywhere, and he's a stat stuffer both offensively and defensively. A gain of 2.5, though, makes it second down and long.
So it wasn't a change in the number of guys they put on the line, but they put both D tackles in the A gaps and then widened out their ends. The ends have been wide most of the night, but putting both D tackles in the A gaps gives them a slightly different look. Puts a lot of pressure on those inside backers. Hovelson, Reamer, whoever's in there, Satcham, that they got to get off that guard's block because he's coming uncovered.
And good to see Levi Trader back out there after he, again, went out late in the second quarter after one offensive play. The other defensive tackle is Marty Rohrbeck here for the Raiders. The Warbirds will handle it. Little pump and run now here for Tyler Brandt, and Brandt gets past the 40 to 35 and taken down at the 33-yard line. A rush of 20 yards here for Brandt.
Got eyeballs flowing everywhere to the left to give him a little pump, and then came back this way with one lead blocker out in front. It was well done, well designed.
I want to see the Warbirds run a 4x1 right now. I'm just going to tell you that much here. They got some speed between Brandt, between Kackman, and tell you what, 4x1, look out, Class B State Track and Field in Bismarck.
That's exactly right. They got speed to burn out here.
First down and 10 here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. And we talk about, you hear Matt Entz say keeping the cup. What does that mean, Nathan, from a defensive standpoint about keeping the cup defensively?
That's a great question. I'm going to have you ask Coach Entz that.
2 wide receivers go to the left-hand side. Shotgun formation here. 1 wide receiver motioning right to left here. That's Kackman. Option play on the read. That goes to Arth. Arth spins out of a tackle and taken down at the 29 to the 28-yard line. Marty Rohrbeck looked to be part of the party there to bring him down, and he is, and that's going to be a gain of 6. I think keeping the cup was one of those things where they say, you know what, keep them inside the numbers, keep them inside the hash, right? You want to have some help defensively. Well, in 9-man football, when you get to the boundary, there is no help. Your help is on the sideline. It's mom and dad that can't do anything, and you got the guy running for another 30 yards.
It's got to be the most difficult job in sports is being a 9-man defensive coordinator, trying to shrink the field as best you possibly can. But it's tough when teams got this much speed and this much versatility.
Second and short as the Warbirds come out, little double tight right to line, motion man right to left across the formation. It's a little read again. Arth makes the first man miss, then pops his way past the 25, hops close to the 20, and he's able to get the first down after a tackle by Liam Satcham, but that's going to be a gain of 7.
Misdirection on every play so far here in the second half. I think that was a focus that Stringy put in. Let's get him moving one way and pop him back with the other direction.
Andrew Arth, he's a load, a senior at 5'10", at 220 pounds, came in averaging 9 yards per rush. And I think the one thing for Warbirds fans are saying, we're glad to see him healthy, Nathan, after what ended last season for Andrew Arth here, a really good running back.
Yeah, a knee injury that derailed their season when they were really getting hot and going into the playoffs, and then a little scare earlier this season. He looks pretty healthy right now.
2 wide receivers split out to the far sideline here. Shotgun formation again for Tyler Brandt in the gun. The Warbirds are knocking at the door here, trying to get into the red zone. This one looking down the field for the tight end into the end zone. Touchdown. Birds. They ran that play once, and they go back to it a second time tonight. Matthias Kackman, the 6'4" senior tight end, hits pay dirt for 22 yards, and Tyler Brandt has his 3rd passing touchdown of the night.
Same type of play that scored earlier in the game, but this one just had a whole lot of window dressing with motion, which turned into a wheel and got guys running all over the place and freed the tight end go right up the seam again.
That one is a difficult play to defend, and it wasn't by much, right? There was just one step, but that one step was enough, and tell you what, putting one right in the bucket was Tyler Brandt. A well-executed play by the Warbirds.
It wasn't terrible coverage. It was just a fingertip. It was a perfect drop in the bucket.
And now a 20-point game makes it a 3-possession game with just under 9 minutes to play on our City of Hope scoreboard. Andrew Arth gets popped in the backfield, and Hovelson grabs his jersey and spins him down. And the 2-point conversion is no good, but the damage is done as Wyndmere Lidgewood, for the 4th time tonight, hits Pater with a Tyler Brandt pass, and he's got also one on the ground. It's Wyndmere Lidgewood up by 20 on your live event.
The Maple Valley Parents Organization is an organization whose main purpose is to support all Maple Valley student activities and to promote a healthy environment and attitudes for the youth. Their aim is to encourage growth and interest in these areas by supporting them in a sportsmanlike manner. The Maple Valley Parents Organization is open to anyone. If you'd like to become a member or see upcoming events, like their Facebook page by searching Maple Valley Parents Organization on Facebook.
Well, for the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds, they started at their own 45-yard line. The drive takes 3 minutes and 5 seconds off the clock and 55 yards for the score. When you got a quarterback like Tyler Brandt running and throwing, I'm sure that gives defensive coordinators headaches in any kind of football right now.
That's exactly right. And when you run a read option type of offense that they do, you just, as a defensive coordinator, you wait for him to make the wrong read. We're 2.5 quarters into this. He has yet to make that decision.
For the Maple River Raiders, their next broadcast here on your live event will be homecoming night against Enderlin next a week from tonight here in Hope. On the opposite side for the Warbirds, their next game, that'll be in 9B football. That'll be against Hankinson a week from tonight at home. So right now the Warbirds up by 20 on the City of Hope scoreboard, and we'll get to what Maple River has to do offensively here in a second as the Warbirds end over end kick that goes all the way back to the 15-yard line. Hovelson handles it there outside of the numbers at the 30-yard line. Hovelson makes a cutback 35, jukes a man to the 40, and Hovelson keeps the pile moving to the 45 and make it the 46-yard line. Oh, it's been Hovelson again, just doing a little bit of everything here for Maple River as he has it with great starting field position. And I know we always want to say win is the must that has to come into sports, right? You have to do something to have a chance to win a game. Is this a must and a have to type of a possession for the Raiders to get in the end zone for a chance to come back and win this game, Nathan?
I think every possession is a must now here on out. I don't think they can afford to have any more turnovers on downs or fumbles, interceptions. They have to score every single possession here the rest of the game.
Maple River going to say, hey, we've seen this one wide receiver out of their side package. We'll throw it right back at the Warbirds here and see if they can stop it. T. Silling in the gun, inside zone read. This goes to Hovelson, and Clay pops out of one tackle, then gets close to the 50 for a gain of about 4 yards there for Maple River.
Wonder if they're going to put the ball in the hands of T. Silling here and let him read that end, and rather than just designed give, and see if maybe they can get some one-on-one with the end of their own.
And this isn't part of the game where you have to go sugar, no huddle, or hurry up. You just need to find a way to score. Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, any way you can get it. Doesn't matter if it takes 6 minutes here. The ball's got to get in the end zone. Doesn't matter how long this possession takes.
For the Warbirds here tonight, and very stingy defensively so far with those yardage, just giving up 97 yards against the Raiders. Shotgun formation again here for T. QB keeper handles it, and he's going to get popped by a pair of Warbirds. You have Orth in there on the coverage, also Carl Quam in on the tackle, but he's still able to get 4 more yards here, brings up 3rd down and 2.
I like that he had the ball in his hands that time. That's the first time it's been a designed run for him that at least gives the Warbirds defense something to think about here moving forward.
So 7:40 left to play on our City of Hope scoreboard. Still to come on our post-game show. We'll get to our RDK Enterprises Precision Play of the Game. Also, Enbridge Energy Player of the Game. We'll hear from some of the winning players or coach as well, potentially, before this one is all said and done and they put the lights out here in Hope. Little tight formation here. Fullback dive and spinning and grinding and turning his way for the first down is Connor Dahl. Arth in on the tackle.
You know, usually you see those fullback dives go right up the center's butt, but that one was more like a 3-hole, which really opened it up. They were able to pin down that D tackle and create the scene that they needed to get the first down.
Sometimes it's the hardest yard or 2 to get, but they've done the fullback dive well tonight for Dahl. A gain of 4, a gain of 3, the old 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That triple option, leave it up the A gap, but that's enough to make the defense have to recognize it there when he's in the backfield. One wide receiver split on either side. Again, you got Reamer on the near sideline here. Shotgun formation for T. Silling. Hand off. This one's going to go to Hovelson. Hovelson to the 40-yard line, breaking and bringing Warbirds with him to the 37 and close to about the 36. So a gain of about a healthy 6.5 or 7. 15 carries on the night now for 54 yards here for Hovelson.
You know, most people would say that's a really good night. Unfortunately, those numbers haven't exactly stacked up, but he's still getting 4 or 5 yards of carry, which is exactly what you want.
Connor Dahl to the left, splitting out to the right-hand side is Reamer. Shotgun formation again. Warbirds with one safety over the top. Handoff goes to Hovelson. Hovelson finds a crease, puts the helmet down, and he's taken down past the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Able to pop the last safety there, trying to keep him in front of him. Looked to be Jack Manstrom there, who took the brunt of that hit. And then all of a sudden, here comes Hovelson. Here's a gain of 4. Here's a gain of 5, and now a double-digit gain of 11.
Tell you what, if Wyatt Silling had to choose between running a corner route to the back corner of the end zone or blocking, he's going to take that corner route every single time. But he did a phenomenal job of kicking out his end and creating that seam for Hovelson.
1st and 10. Raiders now knocking at the door at their own at the Warbird 25-yard line. Handoff. Hovelson cuts back in, and good job by the outside linebacker cutting Hovelson to come back. If Hovelson's maybe to split that to the outside, it might be a different story. Instead, getting the tackle that time, Jake Kuchera, the senior linebacker, again in on the tackle.
I tried blocking the end down that time to create the seam, but unfortunately the safety for the Warbirds was right there to fill in perfectly.
It's one of those, if you're Clay, you're always looking to make the cut and get up, but if you're able to bounce it to the outside, maybe he's able to break it for a big gain regardless. Couple of yards, and he'll take it. 2nd and 8. The clock continues to wind, though, as we're nearing the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 3. One wide receiver again split out either side. The ends come in this time. Hovelson trying to break it again and able to get to the 20. And exact same play. Utra there on the tackle. You're able to give Hovelson to the 20-yard line. 3 yards on the gain. Makes it 3rd down and about 5 upcoming for the Raiders.
So off tackle right, off tackle right, off tackle right. The last 3 plays. What is the counter to that the Raiders have in the playbook right here?
This might be, do you have a tight end coming across the middle? Do you fake it to Hovelson and put Silling on the outside? Where do you go? Or do you say, you know what? Hovelson's been the guy. Let's get it a little bit closer here. If we don't get the first, maybe it's 4th and short. We'll find out as they're going to spread things out now. Oh, no, check that. They'll still come out in this same one wide receiver to either side formation for T. Silling, the sophomore quarterback in the shotgun. Play action, quick pass to the outside for maybe a gain of 2 to Reamer, as Reamer had to dive for that one, and unfortunately for T. Silling, he threw that like a shortstop, little curl hop down to the second baseman, and Reamer did a good job making the catch. Just unfortunately there, Nathan, he couldn't do much with the ball once he caught it for a gain of 1.
Yeah, the obvious idea of that is get him out one-on-one and make him miss and try to get those 4 or 5 yards, or even, get in the end zone there, but that pass has to hit him in the chest. With how fast those Warbird defenders react, if it doesn't hit in the chest, it's going to be taken down immediately.
4th down upcoming now for the Raiders, as they will need the Warbird, looks like 16-yard line for our advantage point. They get to the 15. They'll have it for the first. One wide receiver again splits out either side. We'll see if the Warbirds bring some pressure here as Silling with a hard count. This one goes over his head for a second. Looked like to be a speed option to left-hand side, and Silling is taken down at the 25-yard line for a loss of 6 yards. It will be a turnover on downs. Looking, though, like Nathan, they were going to go speed option to the left on the far side. Just unfortunate there for T to not hang on to the football.
And they had it set up, too, with the pressure that was coming in from the inside with the Warbirds. If they could have evaded that initial pressure, it could have been a big play here to the outside.
And for Wyndmere Lidgewood, here's the old adage in a boxing match. This might be the knockout punch, right? If you're able to get up here and get up by 4 scores with the amount of time that is remaining, that might be too much to overcome if you're a Raider fan out there tonight. Warbirds with Tyler Brandt, motion man going left to right across the formation. Little read option down the middle. There's the tight end again. Matthias Kackman. Will anybody catch a Kackman? The answer is no. And Matthias Kackman, one play for 74 yards and a score. And Tyler Brandt does it again. 4 passes, 4 touchdowns. And the Warbirds lead it 34-8. Uh, 176 passing yards here tonight for Tyler Brandt. Kackman handles another score with the tight end, and we mentioned it, the knockout punch, and that might have been it right there if you're a Warbird fan.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You hate seeing it as a coach when you get beat by the exact same play over and over again. You don't see this terribly often in nine-man football, the extra point attempt.
No, you did not, as they will come out here for the PAT variety for the Warbirds. Brian Quam, clean snap, clean hold, and Quam splits the uprights. Extra point is good, and it's 35-8 on our City of Hope scoreboard on your live event.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in North Dakota, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Honesty, loyalty, integrity. At Bank North, we've remained true to these values for generations. They shape the way we do business, work with customers, and support our communities. We've been here for more than a century, helping people grow farms and businesses, finance homes, and pursue their dreams. It's values-based banking, and it's all about working together to strengthen the common threads that bind us together. Bank North, always true.
Well, we've seen two possessions here for Wyndmere Lidgewood go one play and go down the field for a score. Both have been with Tyler Brandt. One has been a rushing touchdown. The other here tonight has been a variety as well, as Tyler Brandt so far 4 of 4 through the air for 176 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he's got a rushing touchdown as well of over 100 yards here tonight for Wyndmere Lidgewood. 10 carries for 130 yards, and Tyler Brandt has been the show here tonight for the Warbirds. This one on the kick after the PAT by Brian Quam. This one goes to Reamer. Reamer to the 35 and Reamer to the 40. I tell you what, if you're one thing that has gone on really well, if you're Maple River, Nathan, has been the kickoff returns. We've seen it a bunch of times tonight around the 35 to the 50-yard line with either Hovelson or Reamer.
They've done two really nice things. They're catching the ball on the run. They're almost catching it at full speed, and they're creating that first initial seam, which is all you can ask for. And getting the ball past the 40-yard line or right at the 40-yard line is very good field position.
So the ball will be at the 40, and how much do you change or don't you change anything here if you're at Maple River? Still some time, 15 minutes. Yeah, you look on the score, it's 4 possessions. So if you start playing the math game, you need about 2 minutes. You got to get a score, turnover, something quickly, Nathan. How much do you change or can't you change here if you're Maple River?
You need to take a shot here within the first play or two, in my opinion.
T. Silling under center. Gives it to Hovelson on the pitch. Hovelson able to break out of 1-2 tackles, but then, Jake Kuchera, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Scott Stringy said he needs to be talked about more, and we're trying to do it here tonight with how he plays and makes tackles.
He is very impressive. He's flying around constantly. It seems like he's the first guy in the backfield every single play.
19 carries for 69 yards so far here for Hovelson, but the linebacking crew, I think, of Kuchera, Orth, and Severson, the one thing they've done really well here tonight is gain the boundary, right? They've been able to get to Clay and wrap up right away, and if maybe one guy misses, the second guy is coming there and making a tackle, as we see Brian Quam get an opportunity to get some reps here also at the defensive lineman spot, end spot, and now even going out to the boundary spot here for the Warbirds. Shotgun formation for Silling. High snap. Silling trying to set up a passing play. Does down the middle of the field. That one's going to be caught. The 49. Good post pattern across the middle to Drogan at the 48-yard line. That's a gain of 10.
That's something you can certainly build upon. That was a great route by Stephen Drogan right there, and he fought through, I thought, a little bit of early contact by the Warbird defensive back there, but he hung on, hit him right in the chest, too. Great pass by T.
Really good job by T. 6'2", a sophomore, right? He can see across the field, able to find, and the old adage, just give the guy a chance to make a particular play on Larry Fontaine, and they might need a timeout here to get things squared off, and we will take a break with them. First time out here in the second half, 1:36 left to play on our City Hope scoreboard. 3rd and short when we come back.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
As we come back here on your live event, Chase Miller with you, Nathan Hoots, Joey Hughes running the camera, doing some behind-the-scenes work. Thank you very much for tuning in, and make sure you patronize all our sponsors from the Hope, Page, Tower City, Wyndmere, Lidgewood, and from beyond. Without them, we would not be here this evening in Hope. So really good play again by the team there to go across the middle and hit it to make it 3rd down and short. What the Raiders need is midfield. They need the 50-yard line for the first here for Maple River. One wide receiver either side. This one goes to Hovelson, and Hovelson, the play just was unable to develop at all, is getting in the backfield immediately for the Warbirds. That was Matthias Kackman. It's been a Kackman show. Matthias and Levi here, and Matthias able to get underneath, I think that time, Nathan, the defensive line, the offensive line, to get in the backfield for maybe a half-yard gain for Hovelson.
Leverage. He got underneath the pads once again and turned the O-lineman the way he wanted to and made the play.
60 seconds remain here in this third quarter. Hovelson now with 20 carries on the night for 70 yards. 4th down and a long yard. That's what it is. 4th and a long yard. Again, they need the 50. One wide receiver split out either side. The Warbirds are 6 men in the box so far. Hovelson's going to get it. Andrew Arth blows up the play in the backfield. Hovelson tries to keep it going. The ball comes out late as Hovelson was trying to earn the first down. It looks like the Warbirds were able to jump on it at the 49-yard line, and they do. Able to come up with it is Jay Kuchera again. We've said his name how many times here in the last 30 seconds of actual game time, and you can't at all fault Clay on that one, Nathan. It's 4th and 2. He knows he needs the 50. He's trying to break tackles. He's trying to keep the left and right foot moving as much as possible, but the Warbirds saw the ball getting stretched out a little bit, comes out, and Kuchera recovers at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, you never want to see a fumble, but he's given the effort to try to get that first down. Anything you can possibly do. If you have to reach that ball out on 4th down, it's not the end of the world if it pops out.
Second turnover of the night for Maple River for Wyndmere Lidgewood. They got a goose egg in that column here, and we'll see what happens with Tyler Brandt again for the Warbirds in the shotgun formation. Handoff, Arth right up Broadway, and Arth try to leap over a pair of Maple River defenders, gets past the 45-yard line to the 44 as Arth gets 7 yards on the gain right there for the Warbirds.
The biggest difference right now is Warbirds, every time they're running, they're not getting touched till 3-4 yards down the field, whereas Maple River, it might be 2-3 yards in the backfield when they're first getting touched. The difference is the offensive line right now.
And if Wyndmere Lidgewood, they're going to say, let's take the final play of the quarter. Let's get to the 4th here, and then that's going to be the end of 3 quarters of play. So on our City of Hope scoreboard, it's Wyndmere Lidgewood, the Warbirds 35, the Maple River Raiders 8. It's 9B football here tonight from Hope, North Dakota. 12 minutes of football is coming up. The final 12 next on your live event.
The dedicated staff at Wyndmere Auto provides service and repair on cars, tractors, and trucks. In addition to auto and truck service, Wyndmere Auto is a CarQuest auto parts dealer, providing auto parts and offering dealer direct parts from Dodge, Ford, and GM. Wyndmere Auto is also a fast sprayer dealer as they carry a full line of sprayer parts and storage tanks. For shop hours, specials, or CarQuest auto products, go online to WyndmereAuto.com. Wyndmere Auto, located at 500 Highway 13 West in Wyndmere.
Stay up to date with the latest goings-on in the region with the Coaches Show every Wednesday night on YourLiveEvent.com.
Goes deep down the middle, has a man, Soka Porter! Soka Porter to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and taken down there.
We'll dive into the latest stories from North Dakota and Minnesota.
And there's the block by Reese.
That's the Coaches Show with me, Joe Lancello, on YourLiveEvent.com every Wednesday night starting at 7.
Come back here for the final 12 minutes here of this contest as the Warbirds will handle it. Second down upcoming here for Wyndmere Lidgewood as they will be at the Maple River 44-yard line. Trey Brandt, this one actually going to go to the outside, and Kuchera was able to get to about the 41 as Orth and Brandt were the lead blockers there. Kuchera gets 3 yards, makes it 3rd down and 1.
Interesting play there, direct snap right to the running back. And tried to make something happen for the first time in a while. Raiders did a nice job setting the edge and then filling those gaps.
Jake, first rush of this second half here. Update for you after 3 quarters of play. Kindred 49, Northern Cass 7. After 3 quarters of play, that game going on in Hunter, North Dakota, also on your live event. For Wyndmere Lidgewood right now, just find a way to keep playing the way that they have here in the last 4 games. This has been a team after losing to Mayport CG. They've looked like a team a little bit on a mission here. 3rd and short. Brandt steps up, fires down the field, incomplete at the 10-yard line. Looks like they were going for Matthias Kakbin on that one. That'll be incomplete. Stop the clock as well. And that's Tyler Brandt's first incompletion of the night. Been awfully efficient, 4 of 5 for 176 and 4 passing touchdowns. Fantasy points in 90 football would be an understatement right there.
That'd be an interesting lead to be in around here with how many points are put up.
I tell you what, we mentioned it earlier, right? He only came in with 4 games, thrown the ball 22 times, but you see why they only need to throw it that many times here, I think, tonight as well, Nathan, in terms of what Scott wants to do on the field.
When you can keep the ball on the ground safely, when you know you got 2 guys that are sure-handed, aren't going to put it on the ground, it's tough to go away from that.
Junior Tyler Brandt in the gun again, makes a man miss, flips it down the field, incomplete. A run pass option. They had a man open in the flat in Manstrom, and they had even 2 farther deep. And you talk about wrinkles, that's the first time we've seen that play tonight. And if you add that throw to the rest of the year without Tyler can run and throw, look out 9B football.
Hankinson's going to run that play and scout team about 37 times this coming week now with how many guys are running wide open.
Turnover on downs here then for the Raiders, for Wyndmere Lidgewood. And for Maple River, they'll handle at the 42-yard line here with 11:02 left to play in this 4th quarter. And they'll go shotgun formation. Chance for T. Silling to earn some more stripes here. Able to go to the outside. We heard the pops on the padding that time as the pass goes out to Reamer for a gain of 4.5.
Hey, nice throw. That's two straight very accurate throws, but more importantly, a clean pocket. He was able to step up, throw the ball as hard as he possibly could, show off the arm.
T. Selling so far in this second half, 3 of 3 through the air. Pass of 1, pass of 10, and a pass of 4. So we're seeing him getting a little bit more into a rhythm. And for an underclassman quarterback here, Nathan, what are these reps all about, whether you're winning or losing here in a 4th quarter game?
They're so important. I think every single rep for a young quarterback, I don't care where you're up 20, down 20, doesn't matter. Every single rep is important.
Silling goes across the middle to Hobelson, and Hobelson gets on his horse, and he's loose and gone. Hobelson, 54 yards to Patert. Silling, little brick post, and just like that, now there's some life on the Raiders sideline. Now they trail it by 3 scores.
4 games into his high school football career, that is the best throw that T. Silling has ever made. He had a guy right in his face. He stepped right into the pressure and delivered an absolute dime.
Well, if you're going to say, we got to get the ball to 22, let's put him on the boundary maybe a little bit and see if we can have our quarterback, T. Silling, find a way to throw it to him. T now with 105 yards passing for a touchdown. Hobelson now 70 yards rushing, 1 catch for 54 yards and a score. Maple River wastes very little time. 53 seconds comes off the clock and able to get in the end zone.
Becomes a big extra point here. Every single one is important, but you cut this thing here to 19. You just never know.
That's all of a sudden the ifs come out to play on a night like this. Play action. T. Silling goes to the back right in, and that is to the older brother Wyatt Silling for the 2-point conversion. On our City of Hope scoreboard, it's a 19-point deficit for the Raiders. 9B football on your live event.
Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada. They have the full line of Fendt, Massey Ferguson, and Challenger tractors. They have high-capacity Claas combines. They are your new Brandt dealer. Visit with them for augers, grain carts, heavy harrows, and Brandt's new vertical tillage. Ziegler Ag Equipment has Bourgault chisel plows, and they are your Amity beet equipment dealer. They have on the lot a new Wilrich 51-foot chisel plow. Call 218-784-2961. Talk with Chuck or Neil for pricing. Ziegler Ag Equipment, 218-784-2961.
Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro and surrounding communities, ready to provide you with service work to existing and new customers. Whether Corey and the crew installed your heating and cooling system or not, they're ready to assist you with your service concerns. And if it's time to update your heating and cooling systems, whether it's your home, farm shop, a cabin, or office building, give Corey and the crew at Goose River Heating and Cooling a call. 701-430-1990. That's Goose River Heating and Cooling, Hillsboro, serving the Hillsboro area and surrounding communities.
As we come back here with 10:09 left to play in the fourth quarter, and for Raider fans out there, they're going, not so fast, my friend. You got 2 timeouts in your back pocket if you're Larry Fontaine. The Warbirds have all 3, and now all of a sudden, if you're Wyndmere Lidgewood, you got to expect a pooch or probably an onside kick. But hey, a turnover, a 3-and-out, and if the Raiders can get the ball back quickly, Nathan, that's what Larry Fontaine is preaching on their sideline for Maple River.
Yeah, just seeing the energy that came on this sideline right here.
And the ball is free for a second, and looking for that extra bounce or that pop. And fortunately for Wyndmere Lidgewood, the ball came up for a second, then able to just hug it for a moment there for a second for Wyndmere Lidgewood, as we're trying to take a look at the number and the pile up coming here, as it looks to be in the hands of Hunter Dunn, the sophomore, did a really good job, almost kind of like a second baseman, right? You don't want the ball to get by you. Just find a way to keep it in front of you, and that's what Dunn was able to do.
That was well done.
I like what you did there. First down and 10 here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. Warbirds will handle it at the 43-yard line. 10:07 left to play, and Scott Stringy's not going to be a guy that's just going to say, we're going to run it up to Andrew Orth 3 times and punt and, waste 2 minutes off the clock. This is going to be a guy that's going to take his shot once or twice down the field and try to continue to build some confidence and momentum in his team here in week number 5.
Another weird formation here, heads up.
Tyler Brandt in the gun, handoff goes to Orth, and whoa! Here comes the Raiders out of nowhere. A cannon. Hovelson and Silling with the 1-2 punch, and that's a loss of 4 yards.
I'd like to talk about that throw that T. Silling just made there. It was a minute ago now, but a coach always looks at that welcome to varsity football moment. Maybe it's a tackle or maybe getting hit really, really hard, and a guy responds. T just had that moment right there. He has never had pressure in his face. He made that throw, and now I think the sky is the absolute limit now that he's faced that and passed that test.
2nd and 14. Will they bring pressure again for the Raiders? They show it. They bring 5, and Tyler Brandt gets the boundary. Tyler Brandt to the 50. With a stiff arm, and he gets rolled out of bounds past the 40-yard line. 20 yards, and they just went to their old bread and butter. You have a little read option. You're able to kick out the end. You bring 5. If you guess on the wrong side, Nathan, there's a lot of real estate, and that's exactly what happened there for Tyler.
They guessed, but the Raiders right now are in. You have to guess, and you got to hope that you guess correctly, and unfortunately, it went the wrong way. Well done. They ran a counter play, and that's exactly what you got to do to try to counter momentum.
11 carries for 151 yards rushing and a touchdown here tonight for Tyler Brandt on the ground. 176 yards and 4 passing touchdowns through the air for Tyler as he looks back at the game clock here to say, hey, let's start milking some time as well. We understand possessions. Going to look at the back official once his hand goes up, knows, okay, I got about 10 seconds to get the ball off. Handoff, Andrew Orth. Orth, look out to the 30. Orth will shake and bake his way to the 26-yard line for a gain of 13.
That was a great tackle by Caleb Dowes. He's 5'8", 130, and he just took on one of the most difficult running backs to take down in the entire state. And he did exactly what he needed to do. He grabbed his shins and hung on for dear life.
And good to see Caleb out there as well, Nathan, because we were the last time that you and I were here on this broadcast, and Hope about a month ago, he was dealing with a little bit of an injury. So good to see Caleb here getting on the field throughout this particular night again against the Warbirds.
Exactly right. And when depth is always a problem in 9-man football, you cannot afford anybody to be out, even if he's a reserve to start the season. You're going to see starting reps if you're on the one deep.
1st and 10 here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. As again, they'll try to milk some clock. One wide receiver, both split out either side. Tyler Brandt. A little read option here. Brandt will handle it to the near sideline. Brandt cuts back inside. Brandt breaks a tackle. 10. Tyler, can he get in? Oh, he gets taken down WWE style at the very end there. He took a shot, and there might be no flag coming out.
There's a flag from the back judge. Probably about the 10-yard line. He threw it from way deep. Usually that means holding.
Manstrom just delivered the lumber on that play after that hit, though. I tell you what, that might be the hardest hit Tyler had of the night. Currently, it looks to be a gain of 22 yards pending the penalty at the 13-yard line, and where it looks, maybe a block in the back, maybe a hold once you get a runner going out, and that's exactly what's going to be holding on the Warbirds. Tough one there if you're a Warbird fan, and you'll make it from the spot of the call. So, in all honesty, it kind of goes as a 4-yard rush, if you will, Nathan, almost at the end of the day here.
I think, you're upset that you're taking that many yards off, and Strangy's looking up and going, I can run another minute and a half off the clock now. We're fine.
It's one of those where you get it. So 1st and 6 upcoming. So as a stat keeper, do you give Brantley 22 yards there and then you take the 10 yards off it?
I think you mark it down as a 3-yard run. What do we got, 1st and 7 now? Yeah, probably 3 yards.
It's a tough one there if you're Brant, but again, like you said, hey, a way to keep moving the chains, keep milking some clock here with 7:30 left to play here in our City of Hope scoreboard. And every time you run a play, another 30, 40 seconds can come off the clock here as the Warbirds again are in no hurry, up by 3 scores. Andrew Arth inside zone read, and Arth gets tackled. Hovelson is there. That one gets to the 20-yard line. So a gain of 4 makes it 2nd and short. If we continue to keep a stat tracker, Hovelson would have it as well from the defensive side of the ball here. As much as we're talking about Kuchera for the Warbirds, the same could be said about Hovelson here on the defensive side for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's not just number of tackles, it's how many solo tackles he has. He is taking on guys one-on-one and making the play every single time. I haven't seen him miss a clear tackle yet tonight.
2nd down here for Wyndmere Lidgewood as they'll come out here yet again. Brant just going to wait to see the back official put his hand up. As he does, gets ready now to call it the snap. As he does, low snap. He'll keep it on the QB keeper this time. Gets the boundary to the numbers. 10-5 end zone. And Tyler Brant walks into the end zone for his 6th touchdown of the night. It's Tyler Brant, 41, Maple River 16. That one is able to find Pater that time for 20 yards, 13 carries now for $174 and 2 scores. Cats out of the bag, folks. Tyler Brant is our Enbridge Energy player of the game.
I don't think a whole lot is going to change that right now. They ran the exact same play that they got called for a hold on that resulted in almost a touchdown just a minute ago. Ran the same thing this time, cleanly blocked.
You talk about being balanced. 174 on the ground, 176 through the air here for Tyler. Here comes the PAT. We saw it earlier, as this will be with Brian Quam coming on here. Jake Kuchera is the long snapper. The hold by Brant. The kick is blocked by Hovelson. Hovelson able to come right through the A-gap and spin, and maybe his back was able to get the block there. Regardless, it is 6 points on our City of Hope scoreboard. All Warbirds here tonight, up 41-16.
There's another way to minimize your farm's risk and protect its equity with margin protection coverage. This is Bethany Rentz, crop insurance agent with IRE Insurance. Margin protection provides coverage against an unexpected decrease or increase in operating margin. In other words, we can put a policy in place to protect you from changing input costs and crop prices on your farm. Let us help you explore this option between now and September 30th to get you covered. For more information, go to IREINS.com.
You're protected and appreciated at IRE.
My name is Jared, born and raised in Minnesota, and I'm a project director at Enbridge. Enbridge is more than a pipeline company. It's a company participating in renewable energy projects in Minnesota and abroad, and I'm really proud to be working here.
We believe a cleaner energy future is achievable. For over 20 years, we've been early adopters of renewable energy, and we're proudly committed to net zero emissions by 2050. To hear more from Jared, visit enbridge.com/Jared. That's JERRID.
Tyler Brant has been the show. He's been whatever you want to call him. He's been the opening act, the main entertainment. If you want a little dessert and the cherry on top, he's been everything. I don't know if you want a banana ice cream sundae in the fall, but that's what he's been. He's been the banana. He's been the ice cream. He's been the Cool Whip. He's been the little sprinkles on top with the cherry. I don't know how many other superlatives we could put out there tonight here, Nathan, for Tyler Brant. There we go. Chocolate syrup. There we go. Probably your most favorite thing maybe on ice cream, right?
Must be it, yes.
As Wyndmere Lidgewood, 41 points. A squad that came into this evening here for the Warbirds, averaging 43 and giving up 13. It's pretty much right on to the point here for the Warbirds on the scoreboard right now. Little pooch kick on the way. This one goes to the 25-yard line here for Maple River. Getting to the 35 there for the Raiders, and getting knocked down was Connor Dahl. So what are these teaching moments here? I think for both teams, we know that the score right now more than likely is going to end this contest. Wyndmere Lidgewood go to 4-1 on the season. Maple River will drop to 3-2. What are these moments, though, in a game like this? Because, again, this is a playoff kind of a game a little bit early in the season where both teams expect to play into October here, Nathan.
We all know what Clay Hovelson can do and what the running game of the Raiders can do. I think this is, let's see what T can do here in this last couple minutes and build off of that last possession that he just had.
As they come out in the shotgun formation, you have Connor Dahl to the right-hand side. T's going to flip it. This one going to be batted up in the air, and Kuchera was there on the coverage trying to find the Dylan Reamer, and that's when, again, where Hovelson goes into the slot. T. Silling will come up with the incompletion there. All through in the second half is 4 or 5 through the air with a touchdown. And this is going to be a wrinkle as well if you're Coach Larry Fontana, I think, a little bit, Nathan, with this 41-16 game in terms of Hovelson. We've seen him once or twice out in the slot. Just see how teams maybe react to having Dahl back there as a running back.
That's exactly right. You never know. I mean, maybe you can free him up one-on-one, but the safety's not going to let that happen right here.
Quick screen on the way out to Wyatt. Silling Wyatt looking to shed off a block. He does once and able to get his way to the 40-yard line for a 5-yard gain. Trying to get the quick screen there out, and he gets a gain of 5.
It's kind of an extended run right there, but, try to loosen the coverage up a little bit and let them get off the line a little bit easier the next time they want to run something downfield.
Second reception for 5 yards. Wyatt does have a score tonight. That was the first touchdown for Maple River, which made it 8-8 back in the first quarter. Third down upcoming here for the Raiders. They'll need their own 45 for the first. Clock continues to wind here in this fourth quarter, and that will be a false start there. Just rolling back the left foot was T. Silling, and T just moved enough, and that'll be a loss of 5 on the procedure penalty. Second penalty of the night for 10 yards. It'll be the 2 turnovers, though, that Coach Fontaine won't be too happy about. However, on the opposite side,
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the first pre-snap penalty we've had all night, though. That's got to be encouraging for both coaches.
And it's going to be on Wyndmere Lidgewood now, so delay of game on the Warbirds, so that'll be penalty 5 for now 60 yards for Scott Stringy. So that makes it now 1st and 10. So, pardon me, their first down here for Maple River. Shotgun again for T. This one comes across the middle, incomplete for Hovelson. Also had Reamer there, and the Warbird player might be down a little bit as the Warbirds at the 40-yard line coming out here. Just making sure we got the right player out here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. Just got a little nicked up there, and Jack Manstrom, the senior, as Manstrom not putting too much pressure there on that right wrist or that right elbow, so he will come out of the contest here for the Warbirds, and you're going to have Brant Tyler in here now for Wyndmere Lidgewood. So second down and 10 here for Tyler Brant, as he will come on and play a little defense here and play the linebacker spot for the Warbirds. Maple River will have the shotgun formation. Silling looking for Hovelson. That's going to be incomplete, and here comes the flag. Levi Kackman there, and just maybe came in and got in front of Hovelson enough to impede him from going after the ball, and that'll be the procedure penalty.
I think Hovelson knew he had no shot at catching that ball, and he kind of encouraged the contact, we'll say, being nice. That was well done, though. He knew he had him in a good spot to, if the ball's a little overthrown, you can try to just encourage some contact and see if you can draw a flag, and that's what he did.
So 6 penalties now for Wyndmere Lidgewood, and you're going to mark this off to boot. As I'll mark it at the 40. 6 penalties for 75 yards. As Maple River gets into Warbird territory here. Trying to get another score on that board, down by 25 right now. 3-step drop here for Silling. Quick throw. Oh, almost an interception upcoming for the Warbirds and Kuchera. That was so close as I went to the outside to Reamer for an incomplete pass. That makes Kuchera such a good player here at the linebacker spot. 5'10" senior in your eyes, Nathan.
he's all over the place. He can fill on the run. He's defending one of the more difficult positions to defend in 9-man football is that little hook curl area. And he is right on top of that, whether it's the slot or the tight end. He does a great job of deflecting the ball without making contact first.
Kindred officially wins 49-7 over Northern Caston Lisbon, 46-6 over Oak Grove. Those games have gone final. Silling rolls to the right-hand side. Pocket collapses, and Silling makes a nice cut and move. He needs the 30. As we can hear the student section behind Nathan Hoots there saying, good job, T, able to get about 9 yards, and I'll give him the first for the 10.
Well, these girls behind me aren't terribly knowledgeable about football, but they're being loud, which is all you can ask for a student section right now.
Final Central Cass over Sargent County 41-8 in Castleton. So the Squirrels pick up the win over the Bulldogs after being up 14-0 at the half. We welcome any of those fans watching 11B football across North Dakota here tonight to this 9-man game between Maple River and Wyndmere Lidgewood on our City of Hope scoreboard. 5:14 left to play in this fourth quarter. The Raiders are at the 30-yard line. Two wide receivers split out either side. Motion man goes Connor Dahl. This one going to be a jet sweep on the way to Reamer. Reamer able to get to the 20 and in to the red zone. Well, there's a wrinkle that we saw. A little jet sweep action there. 3 carries now for 18 yards for Reamer.
It wasn't exactly a clean exchange between the quarterback and the jet sweep motion guy, but you know what? He got it going 100 miles an hour, which is what you teach. Sometimes it's not the most important thing to get it to him perfectly. It's on time and when he's going full speed, because then he can put foot in the ground, make one cut. Doesn't matter if it's a 1-hole, 3-hole, 5. Doesn't matter. Get upfield in a hurry because he's going to be going quicker than those linebackers.
1st and 10 here for the Raiders as they'll come out. 2 wide receivers, both split out left and right, as you're going to have the running back to left-hand side and Marty Rohrbeck of T. Silling. Motion man again is going to be Reamer right to left. Warbirds bring 3, having a chance into the flat. It's picked up by the Warbirds, and here goes Kackman. Kackman can put the nail in the coffin. 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Wyndmere Lidgewood. Kackman able to go 80 yards for the score. It's 47-16 Warbirds.
Going to be a teaching moment. They can look at it right here. It's great defense by Wyndmere, first of all. But, T. Silling, every time he throws the ball off his back foot, you're finding out what's happening. He's thrown 2 picks off of that, and he's had a couple deflections over the middle. He's got to step into those throws.
Levi Kackman with his 2nd interception of the night for Wyndmere Lidgewood. This one goes the distance for the score, and it's now 47-16, a 31-point lead on our City of Hope scoreboard. Those are ones, too, right? You're trying to make a play. You're down. You're losing. Trying to find different ways to claw your way back. And Levi Kackman just read it, baited him, and was able to come out of a cannon to get it down for the touchdown.
Yeah, when you're down 20-plus, those aren't, exactly, you did say nail in the coffin. It's not the end of the world because it was already probably in place. But, you never want to see your quarterback make that mistake.
And here comes the point after attempt again for Brian Quam. His last one was blocked by Hovelson. Clean snap. This one going to be a trick play on the way for the Warbirds. And they get it in for the 2-point conversion. The 2-point Quam goes to the right-hand side for the score here. And the Warbirds now lead it 49-16 on our City of Hope scoreboard. Back after this here on your live event.
Do you want that new boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsboro location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsboro or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Well, for Maple River, that'll be their third turnover of the game, the second interception. There has been one fumble. That pick goes 80 yards, and Mr. Cagman, that is Levi, able to go the distance. The junior now with 3 interceptions on the season, and he's housed one as well. The speed here kills, as they say. It doesn't matter your sport. If you got speed, go back to the Arizona Razorbacks in college basketball. 40 minutes of hell is what they called it. They had speed. They could trap. They did everything. You got speed in baseball. You can hit and run. You can steal bases. Speed in football. Look out, and the Warbirds got it. And that's going to be to about the 31-yard line on the return by Connor Dahl here with 4:14 left to play in the fourth quarter. Well, with this result, the Warbirds will go to 4-1 on this season. Maple River will drop to 3-2. Next broadcast for the Raiders on your live event. Homecoming night. It'll be a week from tonight against the Enderlin Eagles. Well, the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds will have a rival game against the Pirates of Hankinson, and more than likely the winner of that, Nathan, I think in that region would easily be the 2. We know that the Warbirds still have Lemoore, Litchfield-Mary, and they're going, hey, we don't want the 2. We want to buy in a top 8 seed in the playoffs if we can.
That's exactly right. Next week's going to be extremely important for both of these squads. It's going to be an emotional week with homecoming here, but the opponent is even more important.
Here comes a little counter trap play for the Raiders, able to get past the 35 to the 40. Nice little running room there for Dylan Reamer. One of the better holes we've seen by the offensive line here tonight for Maple River for a first down and a gain of about 11 yards.
First good seam they've had in quite some time, and look what happens. Big chunk.
4 carries for 29 yards. Twins fans, you're expecting this. Cleveland 4, Twins 3. I think the season's been over for quite some time, though, for Minnesota Twins fans after they got swept. Was it like a weekend ago against Cleveland at Target Field?
Yeah, big 5-game series is not the way you want to start. I thought it was like 3-0 a little while ago.
Well, you know how the pendulum swings, as they say in the Guardians, with 4 runs. Here's a first down and 10 for Maple River. This will be at the 42-yard line. He's Silling. Pitch play. This one goes to the outside here for the Raiders to the 45-yard line as the Raiders able to get a couple of yards on the rushes. Larry Fontaine and some fresh faces there with Preston Downs, the freshman at 5'9" and 110 pounds, gets into the column here tonight.
Extremely important reps for young guys, especially when you don't have enough guys that play a JV schedule. These are the reps that they look forward to all week, and they got to make the most of them. They might touch the ball once, they might not touch the ball at all, but whatever they can do to get on film to pop is what they want right here.
Developmental moments, as much as it's talking about this year, it's for years to come as an underclassman, as Nathan speaks from experience as a head coach as well. Is going under center again is going to be T. Pitch play back to Dow's one more time, makes one man miss, and then Wyndmere Lidgewood able to wrap up right at the line, as that's going to be Taylor Grefsrud, the junior, at a 5'11", able to wrap up and make the hit.
I think Coach Fontaine sees this. Preston Dow's is going to be an extremely important member of the future of this Raider program. He's got speed. You start to put some teenage muscle on him here in the next couple of years, and I think he's going to be a force for him.
The old weight room. It might not look pretty, but sometimes you find ways to get those little bit of extra pounds, right? And find just ways to continue to work. And the work pretty just means the sweat, the behind-the-scenes stuff that people might not see at particular times to grow and develop as a football player. Dow's trying to break a tackle, can't. Grefsrud there yet again, and here comes 4th down after a gain of 1.
Yeah, people don't see it, but I think you could narrow it down, the hardest working guys from Maple River. I mean, those are the guys that pop. I mean, especially late in games, late in the season, those are the guys you can tell they put in so much work in the offseason. You're so proud of them that, you love seeing hard work pay off.
So 4th down upcoming here for Maple River. And Nathan, I think if we had to give a 1B option here tonight, at least from a Warbird son on a player of the game, as much as, yes, we've talked about Brandt respectively, Kuchera respectively, Arth, I think maybe the line deserves a little bit of a player of the game, both offensively and defensively, with how they've been able to hold Hovelson enough and contain, but also open up those holes for the guys that we just mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. Both, and the offensive line creating those seams for both Brandt and Arth all game long, but making Hovelson work behind the line of scrimmage in order to get the yards that he gained tonight. I don't know what his magic number was, but it's not what it has been in the past. But he wasn't touched in the backfield the last 3 weeks like he was tonight. He was constantly having to go 5, 6, 7 yards after contact just to make a couple yards.
So this was a game after one quarter that was 16-8. Warbirds scored 6 points in the second, 13 points in the third quarter, and just, again, never looked behind in this one as they had 39 points going into, 35 points going into the fourth quarter here, and they'll add another 14 on that scoreboard. Just a very productive night all the way around for the Warbirds. Neither team has to run another play as the clock will continue on. They look at Scott Stringy, and this one has gone final here tonight in Hope, North Dakota. The visiting Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds continue their winning streak, winners of 4 straight now with a 49-16 win. Wyndmere Lidgewood improves to 4-1 on this season, while for Maple River, their 3-game winning streak comes to a close, and they will go to 3-2 now on the year. Still to come on our post-game show, our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game, RDK Enterprise Play of the Game, and we'll also hear from the winning team in Wyndmere Lidgewood here tonight as well. We'll hear from possibly Coach Scott Stringy, if not 1 or 2 players to come. That's all still to come from Hope, North Dakota. 49-16 post-game show is next on your live event.
You couldn't pick a better community to be a part of. I've actually been to another college, and this one was a far better experience because of the support of the faculty and the staff here. It's just outstanding. My name is Andrew, and I'm here for my future.
It feels like you're at a bigger university. Right now I won't have any debt, and I might even gain a little extra money through scholarships. There's so many job opportunities. My name is Emily, and I'm here for my future.
Serving Mahnomen and the surrounding communities for 34 years, it's Pregame Super Value, your hometown grocery store in Mahnomen. Stop by today. Great weekly specials, delicious fresh produce, along with baked goods that are baked fresh daily, and a fully stocked meat department. Great deals. You'll find them at your hometown grocery store, Pregame Super Value. Celebrating 34 years, it's your hometown grocery store, Pregame Super Value in Mahnomen.
Triple E Incorporated in Page is cheering on the Raiders. As they compete both on and off the field and on the court, you put in the effort to build a team with trust, experience, and the ability to accomplish your goals. The team at Triple E Incorporated is built the same way, with knowledge and experience that you can trust to get the job done with timeliness and efficiency. For your next non-residential building project, contact Triple E Incorporated, 701-668-2258, or stop by the office in Page. Make your next project a winner with a team from Triple E Incorporated in Page.
Hope Page Public Schools are committed to the development of all students by providing a high-quality education that is reflective of the strong values in our communities. The staff at Hope Page Public Schools work each day to enable and inspire students to achieve academic excellence and make positive contributions to our world. Learn more about Hope Page Public Schools by visiting hope-page.k12.nd.us. We are Hope Page, and we will change the world.
Well, let's get to some of our players of the game here in this one. As first things first, let's get to our Enbridge Energy player of the game. And Nathan, I think, again, 1A has to be Tyler Brandt here tonight for Wyndmere Lidgewood as our player of the game. What just stood out to you in terms of what he was able to provide here for Wyndmere Lidgewood? 170, make it 4 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns, 176 through the air with 4 touchdowns here today for the Warbirds.
You know, coming into this game, I didn't realize how great of a passer he was. I mean, every single pass that he made was right on the money. And, you know, they didn't ask him to do a whole lot through the air, but when they did, he struck every single time. It was his precision, and he ran the offense. He didn't, you know, it wasn't a field general by any means, but he ran the offense perfectly virtually the entire game.
He is our Enbridge Energy player of the game, Energy for Life. Learn more at Enbridge.com for career opportunities. That is Enbridge.com for career opportunities. Our RDK Enterprises precision play of the game. Is it the Levi Kackman 80-yard touchdown? Is it just, pick a Tyler Brandt play from scrimmage that went 66 yards for the first one? Is it maybe the final one that he was able to get after, almost getting in the end zone? Where do you go here in terms of some of the plays of the game brought to you in part by RDK Enterprises?
I think you can pick either one of the seam routes by the tight end right down the middle.
Okay.
Both of them just seem to be absolute backbreakers for Maple River and builders for Wyndmere Lidgewood, and then they realized that every single time they needed a big play, that was what they could come back to.
That is our RDK Enterprises feature precision plays of the game. RDK Enterprises wishes you a safe harvest, and they thank you for your business. You can go online to planterdoc.com for more information on RDK Enterprises, a game that started at 7:04, just over 2 hours old here tonight in Hope, North Dakota. Nathan, before we take a look at the final numbers, taking a look from a Maple River point of view, what were some good things? What are some things that they need to work on in the week here moving forward with a region game? What is going to be some guys' former teammates as well when Enderlin comes up here? How does the next, 48 hours here for Coach Fontaine? Game plan, weekend, get everybody healthy, but what starts Monday when the team comes back together?
How are you going to keep T-Silling clean and upright is my thing that I would be focusing on. Maybe is it another blocker in the backfield? And if you go 4 wide, are you confident that your 3 can block the D-line, or 3 or 4, or how many ever come from the opposing defensive line? You saw tonight how good the quarterback from Maple River can be when he is clean and when he's got a pocket. He doesn't need much separation from his receivers. His receivers have good hands. They don't get great separation all the time, but when he gives them an opportunity and throws it down the field, good things happen. How are we going to keep him clean the rest of the year?
Wyndmere Lidgewood final numbers looks like this: 436 yards of total offense, 260 yards on the ground, and 176 through the air. 6 penalties for 75 yards and 0 turnovers. Leading rusher was Tyler Brandt, 13 carries, 2 scores, 174 yards. Andrew Orth, 11 carries, 74 yards. You have Kackman with 2 carries for 9 yards, and Kuchera 1 carry for 3 yards. Tyler Brandt through the air, 4 for 4 in his first 4 passes for 176 and 4 touchdowns. He would finish 4 of 6 in the game. Touchdown pass to Carl Quam, touchdown pass to one Kackman and another Kackman, and then just continues to make it fine, shine as well, with able to get it in there with Kackman as well for 2 passing touchdowns here this evening, 2 to Matthias Kackman and 1 to Levi Kackman here for Wyndmere Lidgewood. That's a look at their numbers. On the opposite side, for the Maple River Raiders here tonight, they finished with 228 yards of offense, 118 on the ground, 110 through the air here tonight. Leading rusher is Clay Holvelson, make it 20 carries for 70 yards. He had a reception of 54 yards and a touchdown. Reamer 4 for 29. Dow's 3 for 2. Dahl had 2 carries for 7 yards, and T. Stilling 5 carries for 10 yards. T also 8 of 15 through the air for 110. 2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. You had Reamer 3 receptions for 8 yards. Drogan 2 for 33. Wyatt Silling 2 for 15 and a score. And Holvelson, we mentioned, 1 for 54 and a touchdown. 2 penalties for 10 yards. 3 turnovers here for Maple River. Final thoughts after you're hearing the stats, Nathan, on just what needs to happen maybe moving forward if you're a Wyndmere Lidgewood fan. I know we talked about it a little bit for Maple River, but is this, well, hey, the train's on the tracks. Yeah, you lost to Mayport CG. You won 4 straight. How much do you really diverge from the game plan moving forward with a rival in Hankinson coming to town next Friday?
You do everything that you did tonight, and you know that the intensity is going to be ramped up even more when Hankinson plays Wyndmere Lidgewood. That is quite the show when they get to play. They played in the last week of the season last year, and it was an absurd score that they had. It was back and forth until the very final moments of that game. Keep doing what you're doing. Work off of Brandt and Arth in the running game, and then whatever happens off of that, you live with.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we'll hear from some of the Warbird winners here coming up next on your live event.
Farmers, are you expanding, upgrading, or want to automate? Visit with the experienced staff at Hope Electric to learn about the latest electrical systems and the newest technologies that they have developed to make your operation more efficient. Get a custom system in place with features like iPad truck loading and remote view grain storage, touchscreen controls, hazard monitoring systems, and wireless cellular cameras to protect your assets. Hope Electric, serving the agricultural and commercial industry since 1978. Visit hopeelectric.com or call 701-945-2460.
Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou does it all. They provide full shop services for your tractors, combines, trucks, pickups, and cars. Their tire department carries a full line of name brand tires, and they've got state-of-the-art alignment equipment. And don't forget about the parts department. They have parts for just about anything, right down to your lawnmower. Call today, 218-935-2774. Larson Parts and Repair Inc., Highway 59 in Bijou.
The Maple Valley School District is moving forward with the plan to build a new pre-K classroom, community fitness center, and gymnasium with locker rooms. The classroom will provide more space for a growing pre-K program. The fitness center will provide opportunities to benefit all Maple Valley communities, and the gym will allow more opportunities for all activities of the Maple River Co-op. Plus, the plan is to build with no new taxes. Contact the business manager to see how you can help make this a reality today at 701-749-2570.
As we return here to our post-game show, join us now on the field. That is Scott Stringy, head coach for the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds, 49-16 on our City of Hope scoreboard. Scott, first and foremost, congratulations on the win. Winners of 4 straight. You improved to 4-1 on the season. But I got to start with the 5'10 junior quarterback, Tyler Brandt, 174 on the ground, 176 through the air, takes the first play from scrimmage, 66 yards. He was in the zone from start to finish. What does it do when your quarterback is playing like that on the field?
It's huge. You know that. He's the heartbeat of the team. He's kind of gone under the radar through the whole season. A lot of other players are getting the noise, and he just keeps performing, and he had a huge game tonight. They were keying Arth pretty hard, and he took that as a way to, there were some holes for him. The line did a nice job, and he just some really nice passes. Very proud of him.
You also said earlier this morning we were talking, and I asked you, who is a guy that wasn't getting enough credit? And you said the linebacker senior, Jake Kuchera. He continued to make play after play, tackle after tackle. What does he do for this defense, flying all over the ball and tackling guys like Clay Holvelson on the opposite side here tonight?
Yeah, he's a scrappy kid. He's got a heart of gold. Not the biggest kid, but he knows the game. He knows he doesn't get beat twice very often. Learns from it. He's senior, 3-year starter. Just a kid that means so much to our team, and the team loves him.
Final thing for you, Scott, before we let you go. The line doesn't get enough play maybe sometimes and doesn't get enough credit, but Arth and T would not be able, Andrew Arth and alongside Tyler would not be able to get those holes, to get that open at particular times without the Bradys, the Jasons, the Jarretts, the tight ends of the world. What did they do to establish a line of scrimmage from start to finish, both offensively and defensively?
Well, they went up against a really good defensive front. You talk about the D-line and the linebackers. They're really good. It's hard to get second level on them. Their linebackers are so well schooled and shed well. They did a good job. 22, he still made tackles, and you try to put a hat on him, but he does his thing. But yeah, the line, every day they're out pushing. They're getting through the chutes. They're doing the little things at the beginning of practice. Pushing the sled, just doing those dirty things. And when the quarterback and the running back and the receivers can have nights like that, they take a great pride in it. And yeah, it can be tough, but when they score, they all get a sticker. So if you're on the field, you all get a sticker. So it isn't just the quarterback or the running back.
Hey, Scott, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck moving forward next week against Hankinson and throughout the rest of this 2022 season.
Thanks for the coverage.
That again, Scott Stringy, head coach for the Wyndmere Lidgewood Warbirds. We'll let Scott kind of make his way over to Tyler Brandt, and we'll give him the headset. We'll give him the opportunity to speak with us and talk with us as well after a really nice performance here tonight. Wyndmere Lidgewood again, 4-1 now on the season. Games with Hankinson, games with Tri-State, and games with Lemoore Litcham Marion away. 2 of those 3 at Tri-State, at Lemoore again on the road. This will be the final couple of moments here on our post-game show as Tyler Branton's getting the mic and getting the headset. And Tyler, will have you look this way to the press box there, good sir. All right, thank you, man. First things first, can you hear me all right there, Tyler?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Tyler Brandt again with us here, the quarterback of Wyndmere Lidgewood. First thing, 66 yards to the house. How does that start on a Friday Night Light? How does that make you feel?
That felt amazing. I just saw the hole, hit it hard, and I was like, I'm free.
66 yards, able to finish with 2 rushing touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns. In the zone, obviously, comes to mind when a player is able to see the field like this. What were you feeling after you got that touchdown just to continue to put points on the board and finish with 49 points here this evening?
I think it really opened up that first run our passing game because I don't think they were really expecting a passing game from us tonight because we aren't really known to be a passing team. So I think that just really helped.
4 completions to start, 176 yards and 4 touchdowns. Have you ever had a game like that ever before through the air here, Tyler?
I do not think so.
When you're talking about the passing game, obviously Andrew Arth is a great running back and a great guy to get yards. But all of a sudden, when you can find one of the Cackmans, when you can go to Carl Quam, what does that do for this offense when you can able to hit that 20, 30 yard down the play?
I think it's more of we're kind of going away from that dual threat, me and Andy, and we're just kind of getting it all over the field, so nobody really knows what to expect.
Final thing for you, Tyler, before we let you go, 4 straight wins. You're past the midway point now of the season. 3 big Region 1 games coming up with a rival and the Hankinson Pirates a week from tonight. What do you hope this team does for the rest of this regular season here in 2022?
I think that we have a chance to make it to state. We just got to keep practicing hard and just keep putting it to every team, putting up the score, and we really got to get our defense going.
Hey, Tyler, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck throughout the season. Put on a show tonight. You deserve it. Awesome, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Tyler Brand again with us here on our post-game show. Your final again, 49-16, Wyndmere Lidgewood over Maple River. You can check out some other scores going on across the state of North Dakota. You can go to yourliveevent.com. Also, you can go to YouTube on Your Live Event and just check out all the games from across the region here throughout the state of North Dakota as well. Some of the finals, 49-7, Kindred over Northern Cass. That game has gone final. West Fargo Cheyenne over Fargo Shanley in 11AA, 35-13. That game's gone final. Valley City over Dickinson. That game 27-6. Highliners over the Midgets here tonight. Mayport CG 70-20 over Hatton Northwood. Mayport CG 70-20 with the win here for the Patriots. Just some of the scores that are falling in here throughout the night. On behalf of Nathan Hoots on the camera and sideline, on behalf of Scott Stringy, Larry Fontaine, join us on the pregame show as well, and behalf of Joey Hughes behind the scenes doing all the stuff here tonight in Hope, North Dakota. I'm Chase Miller, repeating tonight's final on our Hope ND, that is again Hope, North Dakota scoreboard. The final 49-16. Good night from Hope, North Dakota.
Thank you.